Alright, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. It has been a while. We're back now with our warm-up friendlies for the Euros. The Euro starts on Wednesday. We're 3 days away from the start of the Women's European Championships. And today England take on Jamaica in their last game before the tournament. So today we're going to learn how England are going to set up at this tournament. We're going to see what sort of form they're coming into this tournament in, Harry. How excited are you? Firstly for tonight, but also for the Euros.
Yeah, very excited for both. It's one of those where I think a lot of people don't consider warm-up friendlies to be that important, and many people won't be too bothered by what we see today or what the result is. But this is England's last opportunity to show what they've got and show how good they look going into the major international tournament. So this is an important game. It gets players back up to speed. It gets players who haven't been involved in the last couple games for England to potentially get some minutes depending on whether they're ready or not. So it is a good opportunity for England today just to get back into that national team feel. It's obviously great for us to again get us in the mood for the Euros that starts only on Wednesday, which is crazy how quickly it's come up. But yeah, this will be a good game for England, and it's the kind of game where you want to see a good performance, a good result, and build yourself a lot of confidence going into that first match against France on Friday.
Do you think there is a bit of a point to prove for England in this game? The performance against Spain wasn't incredible. England, though, coming into this Euros as reigning champions, they want to win this game, end on a high heading into the tournament.
Yeah, 100%. Form is absolutely crucial when you get to major international tournaments. You look at what France have done in their pre-season friendlies. They absolutely smashed a team in their first game. They came back brilliantly from behind against Brazil. But England, they want to go out and again prove a point, go and put a few goals past Jamaica tonight, get everyone a goal, get people into form, get that attacking line linking up again, get that defensive solidity to return. And if you do that, if you walk off the pitch with 5 different goal scorers, a big win, a clean sheet, then happy days, you're high on confidence. Obviously, a poor performance, a scrappy 1-0 game would be disappointing, and I think there'll be a few doubts going around the camp and with the fans. So I do think there is some importance on today. England, obviously, there's nothing weighing on the result. Nothing's going to happen whether England win or lose. But for that mental side of things and just for that from that preparation point of view, I think it's important that England do get the job done and do get a good result behind them today.
Yeah, and for public sentiment and the belief of the fans, it's important also. And let's start then by having a look at the lineups, because some interesting choices for England in this game that perhaps point towards some of the selection headaches that Weigman had coming into this game. So, 4-3-3 then for England. In goal, it's Hannah Hampton, very much cemented herself as that first choice goalkeeper with Mary Earps retiring. In the back four, Bronze, Williamson, Greenwood and Jess Carter. A big corner left back, Carter in for Charles in this game. In the midfield three, it's going to be Stanway, Walsh and Ella Toone. Again, the big selection there, Ella Toone. We didn't know if that would be Clinton, whether that might be Jess Park, but Toone preferred in this one. On the left-hand side, Lauren Hemp. On the right-hand side, Beth Mead. And leading the line, Alessia Russo. And let's start then, Harry, with any surprises in that team.
I think one big surprise, I think to a lot of people, will be Jess Carter. And I think this is a very interesting decision from Sarina Weigman. Now, the boring explanation, or not the boring explanation, but the sensible explanation is that it's just potentially managing Niamh Charles's minutes or just wanting to give Jess Carter more minutes now so that she's closer to match fitness going into the tournament, so that if she is required, she has played, has got a good few minutes under her belt in an England shirt. The other explanation is that Carter is to be used at the European Championships, and that one is slightly more confusing to me and will be very interesting to see what Weigman does. It would suggest that there will be a slight tactical change if she does prefer Jess Carter. I think it's going to be interesting. For me, it's a little bit of a strange one. That we saw how Carter really struggled when she came on against Spain, and to be honest, for the last few months has really not looked at it in an England shirt. The Germany game, the Spain game, there's just been a couple where I don't think she's been up to scratch. So starting her tonight either is just building up her minutes. If it is that she's going to potentially be the start of the Euros, that one would surprise me a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's worth not getting ahead of ourselves. I think this is a game where, if anything, I think it shows how highly rated Charles is, that there is no sort of consideration there, I would argue. I mean, again, it depends what we're going to see at this tournament, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Carter and Morgan given minutes today, because we've not really seen I mean, we have seen a fair bit of Jess Carter actually in an England shirt, much more than we'd have expected to recently. But I don't think she's going to be a starter at the Euros. I can't see Weigman preferring her over Niamh Charles personally. Midfield is the more interesting one for me. I don't know how I feel. I mean, Ella Toon started tonight. I don't know if that says anything about who's going to play at this tournament. Is that just Weigman testing things out? I'm intrigued to see Stanway in there. I know she's not played a lot of football recently, so that's probably why you're getting her in there. But I don't think she'll play 90 minutes today. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to that midfield. There are lots of very good options in there. Clinton, Park, Toon all deserve to be starting, but they don't all fit in the same team. So it's a difficult debate. Personally, I don't think Toon will start because she is a hugely impactful player off the bench. So I think it'll be between Park and Clinton, and with Clinton probably deputising in the Stanway role. I'm not sure we'll see her start, but there's lots of debate to be had over those midfield positions. It's something we'll solve closer to the Euros. The only one I can be certain of is that Kira Walsh will start. If not, God help us.
Yeah, 100%. I think what these changes are with Carter, with Toon, is that, and other players that we've seen across the last 3 or 4 internationals, is that Weigman is now leaning towards using her squad rather than just having a reliable starting 11 and then 3 players off the bench. She wants to bring that whole squad into play. And we see it with Jess Carter starting today, because today it's Carter and Toon. In the Portugal game, we saw Esme Morgan play at centre-half over Williamson, so... and we saw Park play against Spain. So I think that what we're seeing, which is actually which is a positive and quite refreshing, is that Weigman is really using her squad to her advantage. And I think that's important because, again, we say it time and time again, you win a European Championships with your squad. You don't win it with your team. England proved that in 2022 when they... when they used their bench so often, and the bench for England was so vital in that tournament win. And again, I think we're just seeing that potentially in a different light. I think with the defensive players that have dropped out and aren't available, seeing players rotate into that back four is potentially something that we're going to see now for England over this European Championships. But I think tonight it's a good opportunity just to again share the minutes round, make sure the whole squad has had an England start in the last 3 internationals, and make sure that everyone's fit and raring to go come Friday.
Yeah, fair enough. A few people asking, is Taylor Hines playing? Unfortunately not. Let's have a look though at the Jamaica side then. So a few names we'll be familiar with, some we're not. So it looks like it'll be a 4-4-2 for Jamaica, at least according to FootMob. In goal it will be Brooks, a back 4 of Van Zanten, Swaby and Cameron. Now that's going to get a little confusing at centre half. Across the 4, Van Zanten, Ingleton, Primus and Simmons, and a front line of Adamalaken and McKenna. So an interesting side for Jamaica, and obviously familiar with the Swaby sisters, the 2 centre-halves today, but other than that, a fairly unknown prospect, this Jamaican side.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for Jamaica to prove themselves, or to put themselves up against a very, very top side. They will look to frustrate England, to sit deep and to just try and withstand the pressure. It's going to be difficult for them, but again, for Jamaica, the whole point of these friendlies is another 90 minutes with the camp. It's another 90 minutes to get used to playing a system, and it's a great opportunity for them to play against a side like England and really test themselves, because if they come away with a result today, that's really important for them, and that is a big thing that they can celebrate and use to push on in the future. But it's always good to see, I think, these European sides go up against sides that are, outside of Europe, in the Americas, Asia, wherever. So it's good to see these two sides meeting, and I think it will be a good test for Jamaica to see how they fare up against one of the best teams in the world in England. Yeah,
it will be interesting. Obviously, no Khadija Shaw is the big loss as well for Jamaica. But yeah, this will be a really interesting test for them, and a nice occasion. Getting to play England for a side like Jamaica, who don't get that every week, is an exciting prospect. So yeah, it should be an interesting game for England. It's going to be hopefully quite a physical game. That's what I think England need going into this tournament, a team that are quite similar to what they're going to face in the likes of France. So hopefully Jamaica can add that physical battle that will give England a bit of a taster heading into the tournament.
Yeah, 100%. These warm-up fixtures, as much as they are about tactics and getting used to playing with each other, it's about that physical side of the game, making sure that you're 110% and ready and raring to go. You don't want to have a friendly where you knock it around players, you play brilliant. As much as that is good for you to knock it around, score 6 goals and have fun, you want to have a test. You want to have a side that are going to push onto you and be strong, be aggressive, and really test your physical ability as well as your the ability with your ball at your feet. So I think that this is a good opposition for England to go up against. It's not a side that could that England would view as being a direct threat. It's not another European side that they could meet at the Euros. It's a good opportunity, I think, for both these sides to play against each other once again.
Yeah, indeed, it should be interesting. I'm fascinated by the fact the camera's going across the players that sing the national anthem. It's only focusing on the Jamaica ones that aren't singing it.
Yeah,
I don't understand why, but interesting to observe. Players are out on the pitch though, so let's get into predictions for this game. If you're watching along in the live chat, feel free to interact with the poll. Currently 95% thinking England will win. That has just changed, so I'll ignore that for a moment. But get involved in the poll chat and leave your prediction in the comments as well. Starting with yourself though, Harry, what is your prediction for today's game?
I think England will win. I think England will want to put on a good performance. It's a good opportunity to playing in Leicester. I think that's nice that they've decided to play it there away from Wembley. Usually it's kind of up north or at Wembley. It's nice for the Midlands to get a game that they can go to, and I think that England will want to put on a good performance to make sure that they are all prepped and a good European send off as they travel over to Switzerland in the next couple of days. I'll go 4-0 England. I think it'll be a good performance. You want to get a few goals behind you. Make sure you keep a clean sheet. I will go for Russo to get 2, Lauren Hemp to get 1, and then a rogue one from... I'll go Beaver Jones off the bench. 4-0 win, using the whole squad. Good opportunity for players to get on the score sheet. And a perfect send-off, really, as we go off to the Euros.
Yeah, I just watched Basil, so now I'm right in the mood for an international friendly. I'm going to say England 3, Jamaica 0. Slightly more modest. I think, given the heat and the fact this is only a friendly, I don't think England are going to play at 100% today. But hopefully they will. Any game that they're playing 100% is more enjoyable. But I think it'll be a comfortable 3-0 win. I hope at least it'll be comfortable for England. I will say a brace from Lauren Hemp. And I will say a goal off the bench from Lauren James. I think she'll be involved today. We saw in the press conference, I thought it was a little hint from Weigman saying everyone will be involved. Everyone's able to play a full 90 except Lauren James, but she could be involved. So I thought that was a little hint, even mentioning that. So hoping we see a little bit of LJ today. I think if we are going to see her play at the Euros, we need to see her get 10-15 here.
Yeah.
So hopefully we do. And if she is fit and available for England at this tournament, it could make all the difference. So that could be a really important one if England can manage her correctly, and if they can get her fit in time to start the knockouts, that would be ideal.
Yeah, 100%. We say it's a good opportunity for the squad players to get minutes, but this is also a good opportunity, these kind of games, to give those starting players who haven't been involved recently an opportunity to get 90 minutes under the belt. If Lauren James gets on today, that's fantastic. It's another start for Lauren Hemp as she gets back to 110%. Same for Alex Greenwood. They're two players that, they featured in the most recent England squad, but they hadn't been in the England squad for the last few times before that. So it's a good opportunity for those starting players to just get back into the swing of things. And Stanway is another one who, again, had missed the last couple of squads through injury. So all of those 3 or 4 players starting, presents a good opportunity for them.
Yeah, definitely. I understand as well going full strength today, but a few rotation players in there. Makes sense, this England lineup. The Aussie Gunner asks, any rumours on Beth Mead? Is she staying? As far as I'm aware, there is nothing linking her away from Arsenal. She is in contract at the moment, but yeah, we'll see if that situation changes across the transfer window. I think Arsenal are quite keen, though, to keep a lot of the core of that squad, which on one hand makes sense, on the other, could there be a little bit of change after pushing on after winning the Champions League? But yeah, at the moment it looks like Beth Mead will stay at Arsenal. But yeah, exciting times there. So we are about to get underway here. Well, I think there are some pre-match exchanges to be had beforehand, though. And both sets of players at the moment in huddles in the middle of the pitch, getting ready for this game. And England preparing, of course, to set off on their European Championship journey, hoping to defend their crown. Jamaica involving their subs players. I like that.
Yeah, I like when teams do that. I feel like it's been a thing that's adopted over the last season, is that these huddles involve the whole squad rather than just rather than just the starting 11. Some teams do it, some teams don't. But I do think it is a nice thing. It's you usually see it when if the leader or the captain is on the bench or isn't available to play. But yeah, as you say, England last game before Euro 2025. You want to end strongly, and you want to make sure that you are hitting that tournament after a big victory.
Yeah, it's a weird mix. You want to see us go hell for leather, get a few goals, play really well, but you also don't want any injuries at all. Yeah. So got to find a balance between the two. But it will be England to get us started at the King Power Stadium here today. Alessia Russo from the middle waits for the referee's whistle. And before kick-off, both sets of players taking a knee in a stand against all forms of discrimination. An important message still. And Russo will then get us started from the middle, waiting for the third referee's whistle of the day. Just checking that everything is in order before we get underway here today. But now Russo knocks it back, and we're underway here at the King Power Stadium. England versus Jamaica in this international friendly. England's last game before the Euros this summer. And England moving the ball on this left-hand side. Here's Alex Greenwood. Walsh back to goalkeeper Hampton. So on Greenwood, do you think then she would have been expecting to start this tournament with obviously everything we know about Millie Bright now, or do you think that would still be a surprise to her?
I think that the England camp, they know each other very well. I think that she would have probably have heard, it would have been a chat that Weigman had before. Obviously, we all knew. I think that Greenwood would have been prepared really to start the tournament, or even if she didn't know, as a player, you have that mindset of, I'm going to work my way into the team. I'm going to make sure that I am starting at this tournament. Other thing to note, I really hope the pitch of the Euros are much better than this one. This is shocking from Leicester.
Yeah, well, they've clearly not done anything since the end of the season. Not started preparing it for the new campaign. That's an optimistic pass from Georgia Stanway, not quite able to meet the run of Lauren Hemp, and the ball out of play for a Jamaica throw. But with Greenwood, obviously, we found out in more recent weeks that Bright and Weigman had quite an intense argument in the run-up to this tournament, presumably over who was going to be starting. So at that point, you'd assume Greenwood would have known, but that can't have been any more recent than the most recent internationals.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Greenwood was just outside the office, just ear to the door, listening in to see what she could hear.
Celebrating outside it.
Millie Bright opens the door and Greenwood stood there having a great time. But yeah, I think that it's a luxury position for England to be in, that when you have do have a centre half drop out and not be involved in the squad, that you can then bring in another one who is equally world class.
And they're not quite clicking there between Lauren Hemp and Georgia Stanway. They were trying to move the ball a bit too quickly. And that's out again for a Jamaica throw. Already though, we were seeing Carter getting involved in these triangles in the wide area for England. And so far she's looked quite comfortable on the ball, which is good to see. If she can settle into this game and play well, that'll be a real confidence boost, I think, heading into the Euros. She's had some more shaky performances before in an England shirt, especially in the last few months. But I think if she can really just nail down or knuckle down and play well in a game like this, I'd have more confidence in our rotation players.
Yeah, 100%.
At the moment, I don't want a fullback injury at all costs.
Yeah. Here
is Mead. Now Bronze. Back to Beth Mead.
At least it shows that, if Carter does put in a good performance today and doesn't look comfortable, it does show that we do then potentially have cover on that left-hand side. It's that right-back position that is a massive concern.
I think Laetitia, though, I'd feel more comfortable about having in a position. You just don't get the same sort of attacking output from Laetitia that you get from a Bronze. That's a vertical ball from Jamaica looking to pick out Cameron in behind, or McKenna in behind, but couldn't quite find her. And now England will play out again. Greenwood drills a pass across to Leah Williamson. Will go down the line now, and that's a tantalising ball into the channels. But it's going to run all the way through to the goalkeeper. Toon not quite able to get there. Yeah,
not a bad ball that from Williamson. I thought that Toon gave up on that a little bit early. That had to run a long way to get back to the goalkeeper. Yeah. If she put the burners on, it would have been a close match there between whether Toon got there first, whoever the keeper got there first.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting to see so far. It definitely looks more like a set midfield pivot and then moving towards Stanway pushing into the left space, which you'd usually expect the other way around, with the attack midfield operating in the left space and then Stanway pushing into the right space. So slight tactical tweak there from England. which are intriguing to see the impact.
Again, that's the other point of having these warm-up fixtures, is that Weigman can tinker and decide what works and what doesn't tonight, rather than deciding that on against France.
Lauren Hemp in a dangerous position. Carter. Can England fashion opportunity? Lovely give and go between her and Stanway. Carter breaking into the box. Takes aim, and that's a big save from the goalkeeper. But Jess Carter bursting into the box and forcing the goalkeeper into an early save.
Really good stuff from Carter. Lovely give and go between her. Was it Stanway?
Yeah, her and John Stanway linking up in there. Big stop from Brooks in the Jamaica net. But maybe we're going to see Jess Carter as an inverting fullback, because what a dart inside. Takes it on her right foot, and the drilled shot just tipped round the post there by the foot of Brooks.
Yeah, really.
And it took a deflection off Swaby, I think it was, in there as well.
Really good footwork from the keeper. But yeah, Jess Carter, like it.
Ball into the box, that is cleared away.
It was a physicality. The ball was put in an area of contest, and she managed to get there first, and with her weak foot just had a go, and nearly, even with the save, it nearly went in.
Indeed, and Brooks holding on to that one well. Ball ending up bouncing into the box. Russo unable to get there, and Brooks has it in her hands, and now Jamaica can just settle into possession.
But good start from England. They're moving it quickly, which I think is absolutely key. You can see sometimes in these games that you have England, the stronger side knock the ball around really slowly for 50, 60 minutes, and eventually that they move it quicker and get a goal. But England from the off, moving it quickly, being sharp and wanting to get that early goal.
Yeah. I have to say, with the Swaby connection at centre half today, I always enjoy seeing a pair of siblings on the same pitch. Though that wasn't a great pass from Swaby, so poor time to make such a comment. But yeah, I always enjoy seeing something like that. It must be an even more special privilege to be a sibling duo playing centre half for your country.
As long as you get on, it must be great.
Imagine they just despise each other.
But I think also the fact that they're both same positions, they are that centre half part. It's not like one's a goalkeeper and one's the bench left winger.
I do like it more when they're opposing fullbacks.
Yeah,
like obviously Raphael and forget the name.
Fabio,
that's it. Man United back in the day, or the home guard sisters. Of course, we won't have that next season now at Everton, so that's disappointing. Unless, of course, Real Madrid do
that's
current home guards.
That's where it goes wrong, is that when one gets picked up by Real Madrid and the other one's stuck at Everton.
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward. But, no, I'm sure Karen is very happy for her sister. And probably...
Christmas is awkward.
Yeah. Sarah's going to come back from Madrid while Karen's still in Merseyside.
Yeah.
Two very different places.
Says, why does the grass on the pitch look so poor? Leicester, wouldn't have been preparing their pitch yet. So clearly they've had a load of, after a season you'll have loads of tournaments and stuff on there. You'll have random friendlies for charity matches and stuff. Clearly they've had a lot of those, and they've not prepared the new pitch yet for the new season.
Yeah, I mean, it looks horrendous. It is horrendous.
Because the next 4 weeks will be repairing this pitch in time for the Premier League.
But why they thought this, I don't understand that. For me, it's a bit of a joke, to be honest.
But what other field, what other pitch could England use bar Wembley if they want to play up north or in the Midlands? The problem for a club like Leicester is they can't go and do their pitch now and then have an England international game on it.
At the end of the day, they're professional footballers. There should be a club that England can go to and say we need a good pitch.
Yeah, but then that's on the FA. That's who the problem should be. They should be paying Leicester to do their pitch up for the game.
Yeah, how any party whatsoever has come together and decide that this is an acceptable standard for a professional football pitch, I have no idea.
You can see the marks in it.
Yeah.
That's a ball played in behind now, looking for Lauren Hemp. Tries to square it. Important interception by Swaby. Falls for Hemp again. Cuts it back to Russo. Can she fashion a shot here? Can't get one away herself. Falls out to Georgia Stanway, but that one's over the bar. England just failing to pull the trigger there, but they did open Jamaica up rather effectively.
Yeah, really good football from England, and Russo just didn't back herself on her left foot and decided to shimmy it across to her right, which I feel that really just hit it at your left there. Hemp plays it into that touch, hit it with her left foot, she gets the shot away instead. She takes 4 touches trying to get it onto her right, and then has to go back to Stanway, who just hits it a little bit too hard, leans back and skies it. But again, good move from England, moving the ball nicely, but just had to pull the trigger earlier. That's a good ball through though.
And a ball in behind now for Russo, who does round Brooks, who I thought was going to take out the legs of the Arsenal forward there. Here's Mead, Russo, Nice movement from Toon. Russo not choosing to play that ball through though, and Mead caught in possession. England regaining it well though. Mead back to Bronze. And the pass down the line is on to Walsh. Looks to put it into the box. Toon trying to bring that under her control. Assertive defending from Swaby. Calls from the England camp for a penalty. Referee waves them away though with a very sassy finger. Now Walsh slides one through towards Stanway. Stanway shifts it to Toon. Toon looking to strike one and hits one of great quality. And that is England 1, Jamaica 0. Caught it nicely, curls it round Brooks, and England lead in this pre-tournament friendly. An important goal, and Ella Toon there showing her undoubted quality. England 1, Jamaica 0.
Yeah, been knocking on the door for the first 10 minutes. It's a lovely finish from Toon. Falls to her nicely, takes a touch, gets it out of her feet, and just curls it into that right-hand side. Again, good move. 1-2 touch football through the Jamaican lines. Stanway does want to let it off to her, and Toon just given too much space. Too much space spared by Jamaica, and a player of her quality is always going to punish from that kind of area. Really nicely taken strike, just curls it past Brooks.
Yeah.
It's a good hit.
Catches it really nicely there, Ella Toon. It's trademark Toon, really.
Yeah.
That curled shot towards the front post. Just on the edge of the box, and Brooks at full stretch, unable to get there.
Yeah, really good strike, and a good start for England, and a big goal for Ella Toon. Back on the score sheet in an England shirt, I think is important for her. And that's exactly what she needs, as we head towards the Euros. Because if she's a player that she proved it in 2022, if she can hit the ground running at a tournament, you're in for a shout to win it.
And Hemp here looking to cause Cameron an issue once again, and causing herself an issue. She outran herself. But Jamaica, their own worst enemy here, giving the ball away deep in their own half. Carter. Now Walsh back towards Carter, bursting into the penalty area, tries to cut it back. It's out again for a corner, but I'm loving Carter in this advanced role. She's playing incredibly well in this match. It's great to see someone who we expect to play more of a rotation role playing such a key role in this match.
Yeah, lovely little give and go. The first one was with Stanway, the second one was with Walsh, and she's just getting into those positions on the far side of the penalty area, looking to either put it straight across the goal or cut it back. That one blocked, but England do have the corner and do have a bit of aerial threat.
Mead, now to Hemp. Toon. Mead, lovely back heel into the path of Ella Toon. Now Lauren Hemp. And that cross into the box is blocked. Header from Mead in a positive direction, one back by Jamaica, and now they'll look to break. A question from 170 Gunner. Any chance to see Agyemang? I think, depending on whether we see Agyemang or not, will show where the intent is for her role at this tournament. I think if we see her tonight, it's very clear that she could play a rotational role. I still think she'll be behind Beaver Jones in the pecking order regardless, but depending on opponent, we could see her involved off the bench. I think if we don't see her, then it's very clear that she is unlikely to play more than a handful of minutes at the Euros, which makes sense. I think she's definitely been taken as a come along to this tournament, be part of the camp, with the preparation then for the next tournament being more part of the squad.
Yeah, 100%. And again, she's like, oh, hang on.
Stanway breaking into the box again. That cross, though, over the heads of everyone. Bronze will look to keep it alive for England, though. Up against Van Santen. Now Mead. Bronze. Pass into Toon, who tries to lay one back to Lucy Bronze, but it doesn't quite come off. But yeah, do get your questions and any thoughts in the live chat. We'll talk through them in preparation for this summer's Euros. Yes. And if you're asking where to watch the game, it is on ITV if you're in the UK.
But yeah, I mean, I still can't really believe that the Euro starts on Wednesday. I mean, that feels incredible.
We've been so busy with the previews, it doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
I still feel like we've got more previews to do. I'm in the mood for them. But yeah, England at the moment the dominant side in this game. A lot of chances already. But still showing a little bit of a lack of decisiveness in front of goal, I would say. I mean, I know this is just a friendly, and we have already scored in the first 13 minutes, so you can't really have too many complaints. But a few times now, broken into the box, and it's just been the wrong decision, or signs of rustiness, not unexpected when they haven't played in a month.
Yeah, not at all. Just putting feelers out there, seeing what's about, and once they've settled down, you'd expect to really have a good flurry of high quality opportunities. and hopefully get a few goals on the score sheet. But getting an early goal was important.
Yeah.
Just to settle into the game.
Here's Brooks. Now Swavey. Carrying the ball forwards. And that's one's poked in behind, looking for the run of McKenna, who will continue to put pressure on this England back line. Hampton. Now to Williamson. Live a sport with a very optimistic 10-0 prediction.
Wow.
Someone wants to see some goals this afternoon.
England have to get a move on if they want to get another 9.
Here is Greenwood. Hemp. Carter. Back to Alex Greenwood. And now across to Williamson. But do you think Jamaica? I mean, obviously we'll go on to see the score, so your impact or your judgment of this may be impacted by however this game ends up panning out. But is Jamaica the right level of opponent for England this close to the tournament? Would you have wanted someone a bit stronger? Is there a more middle ground that would have been fitting, or do you think this is the right level for England?
I do think that England potentially could have gone a bit stronger.
And Walsh over the bar, unable to turn that shot into something more dangerous.
But yeah, if you look at it, France played Brazil, and that was a good game. Yes, they went 2-0 down, so you could argue that that's why you don't want to play.
Well, France got a mixture of both, to be fair. France played Belgium and put 4 past them.
True, but
looked really comfortable.
But I think Belgium are a lot better than Jamaica.
Yeah, no, I'm not doubting that.
Yeah,
I think this is very much a game where England know what they want to do, know who their best players are. It's just to get minutes in the legs and to get a bit of confidence.
100%. It really depends on what managers want. For example, France played 2 games. They played 1 European side that is going to the Euros. They played Brazil, who are Olympic silver medalists. So they clearly wanted to have a challenge. They wanted to have a mix of 2 different styles of football. They wanted to have 2 football matches. Weigman clearly just opting for one 90-minute game closer to the tournament where you beat a side that are much inferior to you. So I think it does depend on what the manager wants and what the nation want, depending on how many games you play and who plays and who you actually play as an opposition. It's
worth noting as well, England have players who have been playing a lot of football this season.
Yeah.
So I think that was definitely factored into the decision making when you consider. I mean, the US are playing a lot of games at the moment, and they're not playing any WSL players because of the amount of, or any European players because of the amount of games they have to play. So which I think is a very good decision from Emma Hayes. But yeah, I think with the amount of games that a lot of the English players have played, it does make sense to do so. With France, they've still got a lot of players who've played a lot of games. That's, not really a doubt. But their first game was more rotational players, and then the Brazil game they did play a few more starters.
Yeah.
So yeah, France just sort of figuring out their squad going into this summer's tournament. And McKenna here has latched onto a ball, or Van Santen, sorry, that was pumped long, and now they'll look to break here. Jamaica, Van Santen getting the wrong side of Carter. Carter recovering well. Now looking to bring some of her teammates into the game. Lovely turn from Van Santen. Carter stands her up nicely and blocks that cross. Yeah, well dealt with by Carter, but good play from Van Santen. Does well to just realise that she probably has the pace advantage there over Jess Carter. It was well managed by England's fullback, but I think that was well carried up the pitch by the Jamaican forward. And now, giving her side an opportunity from this corner. And sometimes in football, all you need is one chance. You get to have a shot in the game, Jamaica. But, they've got a corner. They may be able to do something from it. Yes, indeed, Jamaica looking to make something happen here. And the ball driven in low then with a routine here, Jamaica, and it is in. Jamaica have found a goal. England caught out by a low-driven ball into the box, flicked in towards the goal, and Hampton, unaware really, caught unaware, bodies in front of her, and it's England 1, Jamaica 1. I mean, I think this has taken about 7 touches, but Jamaica will not care. They have levelled in this game. As I said, all you need is one chance in football, and they have taken theirs. And the small Jamaican contingent of fans at the King Power Stadium have gone absolutely mental, but fair enough to them. A low-driven ball, the dummy is sent to let the ball just run into the penalty area, and, it was really messy from England. The first really play has a flick on it, falls then to McKenna in there, and it's caught everyone off guard.
To be honest, I think it's a bit of an accidental dummy initially. The shot is scuffed. It then takes a touch off Greenwood, touch off which then takes it away from Hampton. Actually, all Hampton can do is flick it back into our own net. But yeah, a bit of a messy one. No one in that whole situation made proper contact with the football, including Jamaica.
Everyone way too slow to react for England.
And it just takes a nick off the inside of Greenwood's calf, which takes it away from Hampton's body, and it, just comes off Hampton's foot and goes in. But Jamaica are level. And again, this is what you've got to be careful in these games, is that they, that's a stopping moment from England. Got to deal with that corner better, but just get back into your stride and go again.
A complete unknown says, "Oh, this is embarrassing." I wouldn't be too concerned. I'm more interested in performance. They are checking it on VAR now, which I wasn't aware we had for an international friendly. We can't get this for the Champions League group stage, but for England, Jamaica. So the argument here will be there's an offside player blocking Hampton's view. And so I think, unfortunately, you can't really argue with that one. I'll be interested in what the ref decides, but Hampton is unable to react to that because of a player stood in an offside position.
Yeah,
it's a harsh one. It's one of those where
this is where the rule
no
fails,
one calls
mate,
for it, and
because if it doesn't hit Greenwood's calf, then Hampton saves it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, offside, no goal.
It's disallowed. So that's an interesting one. I mean, England, it's a let-off. Not that it matters massively, but for Jamaica, it's heartbreaking to have a goal disallowed for something so insignificant, really. But there we go. England 1, Jamaica 0, goal disallowed due to an offside player impacting the game. I love the Jamaican fans there.
I actually feel for them.
Rather than put a thumbs up, they put their flags down.
I feel for them. That's a massive moment for a well-worked routine. I think that, again, it's another shame where the rule is the rule, but that's a silly one. And also, as you say, we can't get VAR in the Champions League, but on a poor pitch in Leicester, in a friendly, we can get it.
Yeah.
Mate, it just makes no sense to me. And that was an unnecessary... For me, that's not a clear and obvious error. But alas, that's a conversation for a different day. Jamaica...
I think it's more that they've just got lots of referees at the moment that don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
They're all out of work in July.
Because, yes, there is a player in front of Hampton, but if the reason Hampton can't save it is because it takes a touch off Greenwood. If it doesn't do that, Hampton saves it. So I think to argue that, because Hampton's not going to come out and get it or stop it if that player isn't stood there. I mean, the fact the player wasn't even... The problem is the player was stood there when the shot was taken. But, I don't know. Feel for Jamaica.
Yeah. One something you're going to ask, do you do transfer shows? We've never done a transfer live show. I mean, that's something we'd be open to considering if there's enough interest. Chance now for England. Rousseau tries to head it down, doesn't quite come off. We will do videos on transfers and analysis of transfers and season previews and stuff, though, all throughout August, so look out for that.
I feel like I'm just watching some dream that I've had or something. I don't know what has just happened in the last minute. Hemp put a cross that nearly went in. Chantal Swaby headed it from going in. Rousseau, who could have just probably knocked it in the goal because the goalkeeper didn't come for it, headed it backwards. And then Carter's just been taken out there and the referee's not bothered. Crazy minute. I think England just need to settle down, get themselves back on the ball and get themselves back playing their football.
A complete unknown asks, is Mead preferred to Kelly? I think so. I think as a starter, Mead is. Kelly is more of a live wider come off the bench. We saw that the last Euros, used in the same role. I think especially considering she didn't really play the first half of the season, she wasn't in the England squad reckoning until she joined Arsenal. I think that's... Yeah, it's an interesting one, but I think at the moment Mead will be preferred in that role.
Yeah, it's a difficult one with England because, as you say, the preference, it's a preference to start, but it's not that... I wouldn't say Weigman prefer... Like, in terms of she prefers to start Mead and bring on Kelly rather than do it the other way around. I think it's that use of the whole squad where... It's not like for me that it's never like a controversial topic that Mead starts over Kelly because Kelly is a vital part of the team even though she's not starting.
Kelly has a much better impact off the bench.
Yeah.
Mead suits what is a better fit tactically for England and more secure. But But yeah, I think more of a touchline, more of a player that will hold on to the ball, wants to cut inside, wants to get shots away, allows Bronze to overlap. But if you want to bring on someone that will just run the ball out wide and look to get crosses in, then Kelly's brilliant for that. Or someone that obviously can come up with goals, as we've seen in major tournament finals before. So yeah, still going to have a huge impact, but I think Mead is preferred as a starter.
Yeah.
The bigger question is if Lauren James does recover, we don't know what they're going to do. We've not seen this season James and Hemp in the same England team.
Yes.
So as to what happens there, I'm really not sure. Does one of them play on the right wing where they're slightly less comfortable? Do we see Lauren James in the 10? Do we see one of them preferred over the other? There's lots of questions to be answered there. I think if I had to make a prediction, it would be that Hemp would move to the right wing. And then the big question becomes what role Mead and Kelly play. But yeah, I think that will be a bigger question to answer. If James is fit at all this tournament, of course, then it comes to.
I think this tournament, James will fall into because of her fitness, will fall into the same bracket as Kelly, where probably isn't going to be preferred or favoured or able to start, but will play a vital role off the bench if she can.
That's the thing. If she comes in and contributes massively off the bench in the groups or knockouts, then and England are getting deep into the tournament, then surely she has to start at some point. So she could play her way into the side. I do agree broadly, though. I don't think she'll be a starter, especially at this first sort of group stage. But maybe getting into the knockouts, that's when England will look to try and bring her in if she is.
Yeah, I mean,
she's fit.
I was a difference between person, but I prefer a manager who would rather rotate rather than shoehorn world class players into different positions. Just play everyone in their role and then use the squad depth and the impact of them coming off the bench, later in the games. I don't see. It never really works when you shoehorn players into different positions to accommodate to others. The players who are being put in an unfavoured position just don't play as well, and it's pointless.
Ball into the box. Greenwood tries to head it down in there. Well dealt with though by Cameron for Jamaica. Out now for a throw.
I have to say, 25 minutes has gone very slowly. I feel like a lot's happened, and it feels like we should be approaching half time, but we've still got 20 minutes left of this first half. But yeah, Lucy Bond's been a bit quiet. I don't think she's really touched the ball. A lot of England's players come down the left-hand side, to be fair.
Yeah, whenever it's gone down the right, they seem to just be playing it a bit too quickly and then losing it between Toon and Bronze. I mean, there we go. Yeah. It's a pass from Walsh that's overhit and it doesn't quite find the run of Lucy Bronze. If that's a little bit less on that ball, Bronze is playing a ball into the box. So, yeah, just not quite clicking on that right-hand side at the moment, which is interesting. It's worked remarkably well on the left-hand side with Carter making those inverted runs rather than overlapping.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that points to what we're going to see this summer. I'm not sure Charles fills the exact same role, but yeah. I mean,
maybe it'll be
Charles is a very two-footed player, though, so I think we could see her play making those sort of inverted runs.
Yeah.
Allowing Hemp to operate on the touchline like she likes to do.
Yeah, I think that it's also good to see England do potentially have yes, it's only a slight tweak, but it is a slightly different option if you do need to change things up or things aren't quite going your way.
Yeah. Greenwood. Now Carter. Walsh. Nice pass into Hemp. Walsh again. Hemp. Didn't quite get a foot on that, but England do keep possession ticking over. Williamson now into 2. Now Walsh, and England will look to shift now out to this right-hand side. Lovely give and go between Walsh and Mead. Toon. Sorry, it's Hemp. Just took too much out of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of momentum in the play, and she just stopped on the ball for a moment there, Hemp. Allowed Jamaica to just get back into shape. And now England forced backwards. Greenwood. Into Georgia Stanway. Williamson. Now Greenwood. And it's Stanway again. Now it's this left-hand side with Carter. Carter drills a ball into the box. That'll be cleared away. Toon does well to try and keep the play going. And now Jamaica will look to break away. Players running on the left and the right. Tries to slot it into McKenna. Gonna fall there. That's a big tackle from Carter. An important tackle is McKenna again. Waiting to bring her teammates into play. Now Cameron with the overlapping run. Blocked well by Hemp. Will stay in field here by Cameron. And that swung into the box, looking to try and reinstate it as 1-1. But Jamaica unable to get a shot away. Ball back into the box, headed away in there by Walsh. Hemp not alert enough to Cameron, but does well to get a flick on in the end. And now she'll look to drive forwards here, Lauren Hemp. And unable to keep that from going off, and that is an England throw.
Yeah, good day from Hemp, battling hard in there. And again, we spoke about how this could be a physical game and a good fight, and it's, we have certainly seen that at times. This was a really good tackle from Jess Carter, recovering back in your own penalty area. Very easy to get this tackle wrong, but it does well, strong, firm, and gets the ball away for England.
Yeah.
It's a great tackle, really good tackle. Stop Simmons progressing and then win the ball back for her side. Yeah, England just need to again find that rhythm again.
And Hemp getting away from Cameron here. Ball in towards the back post. Mead not making the run though to receive it. And that is hoofed clear by the Jamaican defence.
Yeah. I think Jamaica, to be honest, I think both sides will be pretty content with where this game's at so far. Jamaica will feel like they should be level, but they'll be happy to be in the game. And England have looked bright at times, but haven't really. Still need to climb through the gears, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Far from perfect.
Yeah. Yes. Second gear should be enough to win this football match, but it's not going to be a very convincing performance. You want to see England just hopefully get better and better as the game goes on. But we'll wait and see. I think another goal for half time would be very solid for England.
Bronze then over this throw. Waiting for teammates. Mead, Bronze. Back to Beth Mead. And now Carter. Plays out to the left-hand side with Lauren Hemp. Hemp, back to Greenwood. Now Walsh. Great run there from Lauren Hemp. She can keep this in touch. She does really well there to get to the ball. Now waiting for some support. Carter puts it towards the back post. Great ball into the box, and England with a deserved second. Lucy Bronze riders highest and meets it well. It's a great ball in and a lovely header, and it's England 2, Jamaica 0. And England fans in the stands can rejoice, waving the English flags. That is a brilliant ball into the box from Jess Carter on her right foot to swing it in, and Bronze meeting it well with her head.
One full back to the other. Well taken goal that from England. As you say, a lovely ball in from Jess Carter, who's had a brilliant game tonight. Swings it in. Lucy Bronze makes a run into the middle of the 6-yard box. Gets there ahead of the Jamaica defenders and heads it over the onrushing Brooks. It's a good header into the bottom corner. And England have a second. And that's a good goal. That's a big goal. Just gives the Lionesses a buffer. And Lucy Bronze back on the score sheet again. She got a goal against Portugal, didn't she? But back involved in the goals. But yeah, good to see the fullbacks linking up there to provide England with their second of the evening.
Indeed. The right back who wants to play up front, Lucy Bronze, always making those runs into the box, and that one rewarded there, meeting the cross of Carter very effectively.
Yeah, it was a forwards run. It was a brilliant, timed it brilliantly, burst into the 6-yard box and found herself in the perfect spot.
Definitely England now then, coming forwards. Williamson, that is a strangely and uncharacteristically poor pass. I just don't have any idea who she was trying to pick out there. England do win it back though, and Toon will slot it in behind. Rousseau takes aim from range. A slightly optimistic effort there. Under pressure though from Swaby, and straight into the gloves of Brooks.
Yeah, flag goes up anyway as well. But just got a time slightly wrong. But worth a go from there. She gets it, saw the keepers off her line, tried to loop her. Yeah. Didn't quite get enough lift on it and ended up just drilling it straight at Brooks.
Good hold up from McKenna. And now Jamaica will look to play out Swaby. Now Cameron. So ball in behind, looking for Van der Santen. Doesn't quite come off. Stanway does well to get that under control. Now England can play again. Champions 25 asks, would you get Albert JTV on? I'm not sure who that is. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Hemp into the box. And then England unable to meet it. Mead to Bronze. Back now to Williamson. Toon. Bronze. Now Williamson. Finds Toon with a lovely pass into the wide channel. England's coming forwards. Mead back towards Walsh. Puts into the box. Russo does score. It's blocked by Swaby.
Big block that.
An important intervention.
Yeah, good movement from Russo. Did well just to drop a yard off behind the centre half, but well adjusted from Swaby and got in front of it.
Hemp. Now Walsh. Now here's Toon. Williamson. Let's put the ball into the box. Met well. Now Russo trying to get a shot away. Unable to do so. But it is out for an England corner.
Yeah, Jamaica not happy there. Felt like Russo was a little bit too aggressive, and Russo has now hit the deck, which is the last thing you want to see in a warm-up friendly 3 or 4 days for the Euros, but she looks to be okay.
Yeah.
Just a bit of momentary pain.
Just a bit of discomfort.
Yeah. But no, good football from England once again. Well defended from Jamaica.
Yeah, they held their line well. They were assertive in their defending. I think that was a little bit over the line from Cameron, and we may see VAR involved, but ultimately I don't think it's enough for a penalty, but we'll see. England have taken the call now anyway.
There's been a couple of them. Very aggressive, Jamaica.
Bronze lays it off. Off the post. Unlucky for England. Greenwood now, though, in an advanced position. And that looked like she come from an offside position there, but we will play on. Williamson, Stanway, takes it past one, gets a shot away, held well by Brooks.
Really good football from England. A lovely effort on the slide. Was that from Ella too?
Yeah, looked like it.
Lovely flick round over the corner.
That's Lauren Hemp. Just, falling over as she struck it.
Oh, does well to hit the post. Very unlucky. Could have been a third for England. But again, good football, well worked corner routine. Unlucky it didn't end in putting the ball in the back of the net.
Hard one says, now you see why I kept wondering why Leicester had Chantal wasting on their bench. To be fair though, I get your point, but the Leicester defence did really well this season of Howard and Tebow. So it's quite difficult. And Keys as well, they had centre half options. So
yeah, that's the thing, if you're on the other side, I think that'd be a good pickup.
Yeah, I don't think she's a bad player at all. And I think that rotation will... I don't think see why there won't be more of a rotation at centre half. But I think you look at the competition there and everyone played quite well. If not, she would have been involved more.
Oh, yeah.
But Tottenham, it's the kind of club that's we all over that. They desperately need anyone who can play centre half.
Instead, they gave Molly Bartrip a new contract.
I don't think Bartrip is the biggest issue they've got, though.
She's not the biggest issue.
No. They gave a lot of players new contracts to Tottenham, though, who they really shouldn't have.
Yeah, I know. I just...
They only drew Spence for a 50th time.
Yeah. But they didn't really they got rid of Villa Harms, that's good.
That's true. Ball into the box. Chance now for Rousseau, unable to really get that under her control, and that is claimed well then by Brooks. She'd well to actually get that towards goal in the end.
Been a couple of those where England had managed to get the ball, put the ball goalwards from a strange position. But yeah, touch just took her a bit wide there, Rousseau. Still, a bit of a cross shot. Well claimed by Brooks.
And also, bit of breaking news. Willie Kirk has just been appointed as the manager of Linköping FC. His first role since being sacked by Leicester. He left that job under quite a grey cloud. That's a very big role. And quite an unexpected bit of news, but yeah.
I don't really know what to say to that.
don't know
That's
what to
caught me
ask
out a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting either. I just saw it popped up. Thought it was worth
Fair
mentioning.
enough.
Here is Swaby. One back in there by England. It's Williamson. Now Greenwood. Ardwan says City should try to steal a Swaby. To be fair, I don't think City need one. They've got Rebecca Knack and Greenwood, of course. They've got Gracie Pryor, we expect to get 1 minute. They've just signed Jade Rose. Highly rated Canadian defender. I think they'll be alright. Rousseau off the bar. That's a great chance for England. Stanway. Here's Rousseau again. That one blocked.
What a move. Brilliant. That move there. Brilliant balling from Walsh. Chested down by Mead into the Rousseau, who hits it on the volley and crashes it against the crossbar. Lovely football, though, from England.
So, into Rousseau. Unable to keep that under our control. And now Jamaica will look to play. 6 minutes left of the half. England only 2-0. Is that expected? Not taking 100% perhaps. I mean, there's been about 3 or 4 that could have gotten in.
England are going through the motions. They've hit the bar twice. They've hit the post. They've already got 2 goals. They're playing some good football. So I don't think it's too much to worry.
Stanway shifts it left. Chance for Hemp. Takes a touch. Lifts it towards the back post. And they're slightly overplaying it there within the penalty area, England.
Yeah, how are you going to cross to Rousseau? She's 3 yards away from you. You've got to get it up and over.
Could hit that first time. End up taking 3 touches and then trying to just lift it towards the back.
I do think that final ball or that decision making in the 6-yard box has been a little bit lacking for England.
Mead drills it in. Rousseau over the bar and a glancing effort, missing the target for Alessia Rousseau.
Rousseau going to have a hat trick in the first 40 minutes here tonight. Yeah. Another really well worked move, a lovely ball in, and Rousseau on the volley. Oh, no, she takes a deflection. Great piece of defending. But again, good movement from Rousseau, and she does well to get it goalwards.
What I will say though is that the football has been free flowing for England.
Look at that.
Players are playing with confidence, and there's a bit of fluidity to this structure that I'm really enjoying.
100%. But the ball from Walsh. Chest control from Mead.
Is phenomenal. Just clatters off the bar.
Rousseau very unlucky to not find the top left corner there.
And the players will use this injury then to Swaby as a de facto drinks break. One of the Swaby sisters down. Which will give England and Jamaica a chance just to get some drinks in, just to have a bit of a rest with to be fair, only a few minutes left of the half, but still, it's a tough afternoon to play football. It's tough sitting in the studio. We're not running around.
It is, and it's good to have something that will cool them down. They could do some ice or Iceland, who open the European Championships on Wednesday. Make sure to join us for that stream. They face Finland.
Finished.
Yes.
Stream. The next one we'll be watching Finland take on Iceland.
Yeah, that'll be great. Can't wait to kick the Euros off. To stream every day is going to be absolutely brilliant. So make sure to join us. And
you might be thinking, well, Norway, are they doing both the streams? Both the games on opening day. But of course we are. Norway, Switzerland later that evening.
Because after the first stream, we're going to have a quick switch up and watch Switzerland.
Switch up.
Well, if you want more terrible puns, then make sure to join us throughout the European Championships.
That's the only commitment we've got.
Yeah.
No coverage, just terrible puns. But yeah, we'll use that as a very helpful reminder. We are back with every single game at this summer's European Championship starting from Wednesday. Very exciting times, and I hope that everyone joining us in the chat today will be here for the tournament.
100%. Swaby's back to her feet. We're back ready to go. It was bronze and Swaby's back to her feet, but Brooks is now on the floor. So we're not ready to go. But yeah, Bronze and Greenwood were in a very, not heated debate, but a thorough tactical debate with Weigman. There's lots of hands and fingers pointing and moving in different tactical directions. I wonder what they're discussing. But yeah, I think that it's one of those where England, they've had a good half. They have had a good half. If they get another goal for the break, that would be pretty strong. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think overall though, First 40, this has been the exact 43 minutes that you would expect from a game like this.
Yeah. As you say. That's exactly what we expect. I think Jamaica making a change now. Alison Swaby coming off. So that is the end of the Swaby sisters in this game.
That's a shame. She played well. Had a good first half. But yeah, she is going to have to be replaced.
And well, I had one with a very helpful letting us know which number is which sister, but we don't need to worry anymore. Unfortunately, Alison Swaby coming off. And that will make life much more difficult, I think, for Jamaica. She's been very key at stopping Alessia Russo on a number of occasions so far. Yeah,
I thought she did well up against her and kept her pretty quiet. Well, I say quiet. She's kept us from scoring. But yeah, change coming then for Jamaica.
Indeed, Cardoza on in her place.
Difficult situation to come into now. There had been a bit of a stoppage. You're coming on at the centre half subs are always a really tough position to come on into as a tactical change because, you know, especially when you are the side on the back foot because you're going to have players running at Cardoza, you know, straight from the start.
Yeah.
So she's got to be prepared and make sure that she slots into that back four pretty quickly. But yeah, now that will probably add on a couple minutes at the end of the half. We'll find out in a bit. Well, saying a bit, we'll find out now. That looks like a 6. Is it? Yes, it is a 6.
6 minutes of additional time. That's pretty much the whole time that Swaby and Brooks were down. So that makes sense. That's a Jamaica throw on the far side then. Van Santen with the ball in her hands. And they do well there. Jamaica to hold on to the ball. Primus now will look to switch the play over to this right hand side. Nice drive inside, then move back out wide. Press one back by Greenwood there. And now out for a England throw.
Yeah, I think that, you know, fair play to Jamaica because I think they've put up a really good fight. Like, people will look at it and go, oh, why aren't England 7-0 up by now? But, you know, Jamaica, they've put on a very, very respectable performance. They were unlucky to have their goal chalked off. I think that when they've had the opportunity to, they have tried to bring the ball forwards. And as you said, I think defensively they've made some good interventions and have done well to limit England. Two really well taken goals.
Yeah.
So credit to them.
And Jamaica have shown themselves to be quite a decent side, especially when apparently, according to Ard1, this is their third choice goalkeeper today. No Taylor Hines, no Khadija Shaw. So really good account of themselves so far. You've got to feel that, you know, World Cup 27 on the horizon. Could that be Jamaica's chance to get in? And it's very difficult qualifying in CONCACAF.
It is.
Because you've got the forces that are the US and you've got Canada.
Anyone knows what Jamaica? What happened to Lorne Donaldson?
Oh, yeah.
Where did he go? Unless I'm getting my teams mixed up. I think, no. Well, yeah.
Was Lorne Donaldson at World Cup 23?
Where's he gone? He was class.
Yeah. I'm not sure, just replaced by just the most average looking man I've ever seen.
He's quite tall. And he's a junior. He's Hubert something junior, I think. Oh. But yeah, where's Lorne gone?
Yeah, I liked Lorne Donaldson, it was amusing. I hope it's not something bad.
Yeah.
Like we just decided to retire or something.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Here's Mead.
I think it's the highest Jamaica have been in terms of the whole team.
Everyone says Jamaica's been to the last 2 World Cups. They got to round 16 last time.
Yeah, remember they played France under Lorne Donaldson, and he just had a great time. He couldn't have cared less what the result was in that round of 16 game. He just had fun. But yeah, I think a third before half time would do England some good.
Such the play here. Here is Mead. Tries to put the ball into the box. That's blocked. Hubert Busby is the name. Lorne left.
Oh, where did he go?
That is gutting.
Devastated.
Does he want a job? Bring in Lorne Donaldson.
2 now's a go. Oh, what a goal that is. What a goal that is from Ella Toon.
Strike from Ella Toon in England. Extending their advantage with a second Ella Toon worldie in this game. And really imposing their superiority at the end of this half then, England. Ella Toon With her second and England's third.
Yeah, lovely strike. Caught everyone out, I think, including us, including everyone on the pitch. It was stuck in her feet and wasn't really a shooting opportunity, but she just managed to get under it, and it comes off the inside of the post and goes in. It's a lovely finish. Yeah, it's a bit of a messy one. No one really deals with it. Toon just rolls it, gets under it with her left foot. Lovely, lovely little just floated ball into the top left corner, off the inside of the post,
Lovely
and
effort.
into the back of the net. But yeah, really nicely played.
Just well, just to roll it onto her left foot and then take the finish well.
Two really well taken goals from Toon, and two very stereotypical Ella Toon finishes in that on that area, just on the 18-yard box, and picks it up and curls it into the side nettings.
Yeah,
of
Toon's going to have another one here, perhaps. Does shift this pass on to Mead. Back to Toon. Poke towards goal. Save well by Brooks.
A little bit overplayed there from Mead, trying to get Toon a hat-trick. But I feel like she could have gone herself it. Either Toon should have hit it here, then Mead could have gone alone. But it's not a terrible decision. No, Toon pokes it goal, was good save.
Not bad, just unlucky. Would you like a Lorne Dawson update?
I'd love a Lorne Dawson update.
He went to Chicago Stars in the NWSL.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Was sacked.
Oh.
In April.
That is a shame. Is he now unemployed?
Yeah, seemingly.
Well, we're going to be announcing our new pundit for the Euros in a day or two.
Harry sacked.
Yeah. That would be brilliant.
He's only there a season, then... Yeah.
That's a shame.
Sacked. That is...
What a manager.
That's sad for Lorne Donaldson. But yeah, I did enjoy watching his Jamaica side at the last World Cup.
His celebrations, he was just incredible. That's what you want in a manager. Who clearly did some decent work to get Jamaica out of the groups. Yeah. And then just had a bit of fun.
Now, Jamaica, at the moment, just, I think, starting to struggle at the end of this half. It feels like they're tiring out, they're wearing out, and England are really...
And to be fair...
imposing on them.
It has been a 51-minute half, which is very long. Very long for a first half.
You're someone of it, Harry.
Yeah, no.
It's hemp.
But no, 6 minutes is a lot to add on in the first half. It's a lot. Oh, brilliant.
Samway slides it through towards Carter, falls for Russo, lays off for me, deflection over the bar. And that will be a corner, likely the last action of the first half.
Again, Jess Carter popping up in that inverted role, played through to her by Stanway. She manages to block the clearance. Russo lays it into Mead, and it takes a deflection to go over the bar. But again, it's more intricate play in the 18-yard box, and while I don't mind it, I do think that at times it is being overplayed by England a little bit.
Yeah.
Which you can do when you're playing Jamaica and you've got extra time, but if you do that against higher opposition, they'll just take the ball off you and run away. They're not going to stand there while you play four passes.
Quite an interesting routine here, putting everyone on the goal line and then a ball backwards.
Rubbish. I'm sorry, but that was pointless.
Well, I don't really get the thinking.
How much you run back and you head it. Never mind.
Well, no, because they've got to run back, turn, and head the other direction. The momentum isn't going that way. Either way, it's half-time here at the King Power Stadium. England 3, Jamaica 0. A brace from United de la Toon. And a goal from Lucy Bronze as well, crossed in wonderfully by Jess Carter. Sees England lead Jamaica 3-0 at half-time.
Good half.
Very good half. Are you going to crack a window?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Are you getting water as well?
Yeah.
I'll take a drink then. Hang on. Well, yeah, that is half time. England's up by 3-0. It's been our first half where England have. They started a little bit slowly. Well, got a fairly early goal, to be fair, from Ella Toon, but then there was a period when there was a little bit of lethargicness, I think, a little bit of complacency. We saw England concede, but that was chalked off, of course, by VAR. But then England really turned up the start. I think that goal was a real kick up the backside for England, and we saw them get back into gear towards the end of that half, and right towards the end, England looked like they just kept coming forwards, and Jamaica couldn't handle that barrage of attacks. Tactically, it's been fairly what we'd expect from England. The most interesting thing has been inverting the left back into a more interior role rather than overlapping, which is what we'd expect from someone like Charles. But in fairness, with Hemp, a winger who is very capable of operating on the touchline, prefers operating on the touchline, it makes sense. And you've got Carter, who's a right-footed player, and you've got Charles, who I believe is right-footed, or at least is very comfortable on both feet. So to invert them into that role where they could get shots away or could get in-swinging crosses, I think that makes a lot of sense. So we've seen that inversion from left back into those more central roles, leaving Hemp able to operate in the wide space, bringing a fullback into that half space. We've seen some similar runs from Bronze, though a lot of her runs have been wider, but of course for our goal, it was a pinpoint run in towards the penalty area, which again, very textbook Lucy Bronze. So lots of interesting tactical things at the moment. I think we're seeing a bit more fluidity than we expect from England. Usually it's quite rigid, but I think especially in some central areas, we've seen Toon and Stanway very fluid in there. Again, what we'd expect from Kira Walsh, just being that pivot player, that point to play around. We've seen her operate in the middle of the park, but not really move anywhere else. But yeah, it's what we'd expect from England. She has popped up in wide areas, to be fair, sometimes, Walsh playing those balls in behind, a few times slightly overhit, but you can understand the thinking. England stretching Jamaica very effectively, stretching the back line very effectively, especially. So all round, really impressive performance. And yeah, lapse in concentration will be worrying. Again, though, the corner routine was just completely caught England out. That was a very confusing one for me. I can't quite get, no one picked up on what was happening, which was disappointing, but ultimately I haven't seen anything from England that would worry me heading towards the tournament. In fact, I've been very impressed. I think there's some players that have really stepped up in this game and proven perhaps that they should start. I think before the tournament I said Charles is absolutely nailed, but Carter's looked really impressive. So yeah, should be interesting to see what happens in that role. Toon's played really well as well. I think we should see some changes at half time, which could create more of a selection headache or less of a selection headache depending on how players play. But yeah, we'll see. In terms of what I want to see in the second half, I'd like to see a striker change maybe at half time. I think we know Russo's very good now, and the game is fairly comfortable. So someone like either a Beaver Jones or Agume, either or I'd be very much content with. So I think we do need some half time changes, just rotate the squad around. Obviously, it being a friendly, we're unlimited in terms of changes that we could make. So yeah, options for England off the bench. I'd like to see us use them. This is a kind of game where we can look at the bench, give players opportunities, and then obviously have a better understanding of who's going to play where and what squad players are going to be used at this summer's tournament. But overall, really impressive football, really impressive performance. I think we could have come out today and been a bit complacent, been a bit lethargic, given Jamaica too much respect, or not enough respect actually. But instead, we've come out, we've played well, we've looked in control of this game, we've looked to create chances, we've overloaded Jamaica in the final third, we've pressed them aggressively, which is difficult considering how hot it is today. So, yeah, overall, really impressive stuff from England, Harry. I'm not sure if you've got anything to add to what I've been saying, whether you were listening in from outside.
I wasn't, no. But yeah, I think that England have done very well, and so, that is the perfect first half that you want to see from an international friendly before European Championships. Everyone getting involved, front four linking up really nicely, 3 different goal scorers. Russo could have easily been on the score sheet as well, and suddenly that's your front four playing extremely well. So that is what you want to see. I thought Bronze had been a little bit quiet until she then popped up in the middle and scored a really good header. So yeah, it has been a really solid performance from England. To give Jamaica their flowers, I thought they played very well. They defended, they responded pretty well to going a goal down early. We see it so often where when the weaker side do concede very early, they just collapse and end up getting smashed, but they haven't done that. They were resilient and they've hung on in there for a good 20 minutes. They got a goal of their own, which I thought was, they were pretty unfortunate that didn't stand, and that was a bit unlucky because yes, it was their only chance of the half, but it was a well-worked corner and they deserved the goal. So, VAR ruled that off and that was a bit unfair. But I thought that, well, not unfair, but, a bit unfortunate. But yeah, I thought Jamaica played well. So the fact that England aren't in such control, it is quite reassuring because it's not like Jamaica have defended terribly and England have managed to walk through them. Jamaica have put up a pretty decent fight.
Yeah, I think you could argue the scoreline somewhat kinds them with the amount of chances England have had that haven't quite gone in. But equally, then the goals England have scored have been somewhat fortunate goals. You don't expect to score from screamers on the edge of the box constantly. So, yeah, England have shown an ability to create chances and a clinicality from. But we've seen player quality be the most important thing, but have England been as clinical as I would like with chances? Not really. I think we've seen too many hit the woodwork so far. This could easily be 6 or 7 based on how England played in that first half. But yeah, overall, impressive stuff so far. If we kick on and perform the same in the second half, get a few changes on the field, then I'd be very pleased. Jamaica's biggest threat up front, they've definitely missed Khadija Shaw, but we have seen some stuff from Van der Santen, the winger. So, yeah, I've been impressed by Jamaica. I thought they've put up a decent fight, and given England, we probably want slightly stronger a challenge, but they've certainly not made it easy for England. So,
yeah, no, I think that what Jamaica won't look at the scoreline today. They will focus on the performance, and I think from that first 45 minutes, there have been quite a few positives from a Jamaica point of view. So, credit to them. I think that they keep working away. Now is the important half, because in this second half it is very easy for them just to fall away and give in. But if they can remain solid and keep that level up, then they should do a decent job at keeping this scoreline pretty respectable. I don't think it's going to get out of hand. It's going to be like 7 or 8. England will probably take their foot off the gas a little bit as well now, because they've already got 3 goals. So, yeah, I think England in the driving seat, but Jamaica have played decently. So, I think that you don't judge this result together. Both sides will judge this result very differently, which is why at the moment I don't think neither side I'd say is buzzing with how the game's gone, but I think both sides were pretty content with how it has played out, more so in the England camp because they are winning the football match. But Jamaica have done well, and what a great opportunity for the fans, that they're loving it. They look like they're having a great time, and it's disappointing they didn't get to celebrate their goal.
And it's a far cry from the full strength Jamaica team. It's just missing Khadija Shaw, Drew Spence, Becky Spencer, Taylor Hines. This isn't full strength Jamaica. So to see them compete with England without their full strength 11, without some of their best players, I think that's really good to see from Jamaica. It shows a side that could be competitive at tournaments. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I think there's definite potential there. But that, again, obviously, we all know what the point of these friendlies is for the European side. They're preparing for the European Championships. For England, it's a warm-up friendly. For Jamaica, obviously they will, they have had friendlies, they will have friendlies, but it's also a good opportunity for them to get themselves tested against the best sides in the world, because they've got nothing to lose from this. It's just good for them to be able to see what, again, great experience for the players who don't play in the WSL and play in leagues outside Europe. It's a great experience to play against the best players in the world, playing in a stadium like the King Power Stadium. So credit to them, and if they get a goal, that'll be a brilliant moment. And I think it was unfortunate they didn't get to their first goal didn't get to stand. England, it's just about seeing the job through now. I think it's a friendly, make changes at half time. I'd expect to see 2 or 3 coming on just to keep the rotation going. In games like this, you should be using pretty much the whole bench. Obviously, you're not going to go crazy and make loads and loads of changes, but you want to make a good, decent 5-6 subs that you can bring on. So and give players opportunities. I think this is important at the Euros, as well as Weigman and England know best, really, that use your squad, make sure that by the time you get to the tournament, they're all ready and ready to go. Because if you do need your subs, but they haven't played recently for the national team, they're not going to have as much of an impact as if they had played for the side. So get those squad players for me. I'd get them on the pitch the next 45 minutes and give them a good run out, because they will be needed at the tournament. And the tournament is in a few days, so they need to be ready.
Who do you want to see, and who do you think we'll see? I feel like they're quite different questions whenever we watch Sarina Weigman's England, but who do you want to see come on? Who do you think we will see in the second half?
I think that I'd like to see Beaver Jones or Aguiman, but the fact that Russo hasn't scored yet means that I don't think we will see that change.
I think we will quite soon. I think it should be half time, really. We all know how good Alessia Russo is. Do we need to see her score against Jamaica to prove that?
I think she'll want to get her a goal, because she probably should have scored one. Again, I think we could also seen someone like Park come in, but obviously Toon's on a hat-trick, so you're not going to take Toon off at the moment. I'd be surprised to see any defensive changes right now, just because England are on a clean sheet, but you could see a Weigman or somebody come in. Letitia, I think, is someone that does deserve 45 minutes as well.
Especially with how much Bronze has played this season as well.
100%.
Getting players off that have played the most amount of minutes. Players like Williamson, who were in the Champions League final only a few weeks ago and then came and played some England internationals. Players like Bronze, who have played pretty much every minute for Chelsea this season.
Yes.
Haven't really had a rest. She's at sharpness. We've seen that in the first half. Rotate her, get Letitia some minutes in this England national side. We've not seen her get enough ahead of a tournament where she's going to have to be an understudy, a position that she's not natural at. So I think that would be quite important to see. Other than that, looking at the squad, I think maybe put someone else in defensive midfield, see how that would go. Who I don't know. That's a question we've got for the whole tournament, to be fair. Who else would play defensive midfield? But this is the kind of game where that could be tested out. But again, it's probably going to be someone either Williamson or Stanway. So,
Last thing, do you?
I don't know.
You bring. I think it's for this game, even if you're not thinking about playing anyone else defensive midfield, just bring Walsh off anyway and put anyone in there, because at least you're then resting her and spreading out her minutes.
Get some bubble wrap out. Wrap Kira Walsh in bubble wrap. Get her ready for the Euros.
There has to be a backup. So whether for the last 15-20 minutes we see a Clinton Stanway pivot. Or I think Stanway needs to come off as well, though, because she's just come back from injury. So, but
Clinton Park Toon will just
why
outscore
not?
her.
At the end of the day, no offence to Jamaica, but that makes more sense than playing Kira Walsh for another 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, we're not going to learn much as to who could recover there, but at least it'll mean that Walsh will be better prepared for the England's first game on Saturday evening.
Yeah, 6 days' time until France,
That's
England
crazy.
on Saturday night. Hasty says, good analysis on ITV and the 2 commentary here. Thank you, mate. One says, I'm surprised. Oh, sorry, HD mentioning the PSG Inter Miami game. One saying, I'm surprised Inter Miami got this far. Yeah, 4-0 at half time. Inter Miami yet to have a shot on or off target and yet to have a corner. So it could be a lot worse for Jamaica.
It could be.
Because that's how to get dominated by a team.
So the full official is readying her board, which would suggest some changes. Well, we know it's not going to be Mead, Russo, Toon, Williamson, Hemp, Greenwood, or Walsh.
Or Hamptons, that's good.
No. So, who's that there? That's Kelly, Nagyman and Keating warming up. I don't think they're coming on. There's Aguilera Jones. I have no idea.
It's just part, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know who's coming on. We'll find out in a moment if there is any changes for England.
Because usually the players coming on are in their shorts.
Well, that's Morgan and Park. And Aguiman, Keating, and
so none of them
Ellis,
coming on because they've still got their bibs and their tops on. It'll be someone who only has a bib on, but I didn't see any of them. So maybe it's a Jamaica change. We'll find out. But yeah, I think I'd be surprised if England haven't made a change. That feels a bit pointless to me. No, that looks to be the England full complement back out again.
That's only no. I know that's.
No, it doesn't. No, they are waiting for someone, aren't they?
That's what I was saying. They're not 9, 10. I meant.
No, they're not waiting for 11. Anyone. Yep,
Emma just hiding.
We're good at this. So England, no changes. Yeah, it is a change for Jamaica instead.
One says Keating is third string, right? Yeah, you'd expect so. Well, actually, I don't know. Keating or Morehouse, I don't really know who'd come on in the case of an injury.
Adam Malagan's come off for Sampson, by the way.
Okay, so change for Jamaica. Joey Fresh, what was the strange? Says, after Jamaica got smacked by the carousel that is the USWNT right now, I was curious how they do against England. Not well, apparently. I think they put up a decent fight, but the scoreline could be very much worse for Jamaica. I think they've been fortunate. They've played all right, considering, but I think,
they did score. Got ruled out, but they did score.
Indeed, and it will be Jamaica and McKenna to get us back underway in this game, waiting for the referee's whistle for restarting proceedings here at the King Power Stadium in Leicester, England, leading by 3 goals. So now McKenna gets us back underway here. Jamaica looking to try and consolidate things here. Can they keep it at 3-0? Could they go and get a goal perhaps in this international friendly? England looking to kick on, add a few more and bring in even more belief heading towards the European Championships.
I'm surprised to not see any England subs, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
That feels bizarre to me.
Jamaica were 2 down already. You would think that would be England making changes.
Yeah.
I know one was forced really for Jamaica, but England, so many of these players have played so many minutes in the WSL this season. I'm not sure what Wilson changes.
Every time I see a player run over one of those poor patches of turf, I do worry. Like Russo there, just ran over a big bit. She's charging down Brooks. You just don't want anything stupid to happen because Leicester haven't got any grass on their pitch.
To be fair, it looks bad, but they're not. It's not like we've seen worse. Look at the Real Madrid pitch of the mud.
It looks like someone's just gone around and taken a layer off the top of certain areas.
Just players it's been bits that have been worn down.
Yeah.
Had stuff on top of them.
I was gonna say that because they're in weird areas.
And they might have moved goals and stuff for tournaments.
Yeah, maybe.
Or had a stage. I don't know if there's anyone performing at the King Power. Can't think of any Leicester-based musicians.
No.
If anyone knows any Leicester-based musicians, get involved in the live chat. Here's Lucy Bronze, ball into the box. Russo trying to get a handle on it, unable to do so though. And now Jamaica will look to break. McKenna holds the ball up, pass back into Van Santen. And now they're trying to come forwards. They're going to be forced back though by the press of Beth Mead. Swaby. That's blocked in there by Hemp, but it does fall in there for Cardoza. Unable to hold on to the ball. Jamaica playing with a bit of nerve at the moment, seemingly.
Yeah.
Lovely movement from Lauren Hemp. Holds onto the ball nicely. Carter makes the overlapping run. And Hemp goes back into Greenwood. Picks out Stanway in the pocket. Hemp now coming forwards, and that is prevented there by Sampson. And now that ball will go down the channel, looking for the run of McKenna, headed away in there by Greenwood. Sampson rolls Toon wonderfully in there. And now they'll look to play Jamaica. Van Zanten to Van Zanten, and here they come. Lovely give and go. Bronze doing some defending, which is good to see. Gets in front of that pass. And now England can look to play out. Mead. Toon. Bronze. Back towards Toon. Pass intercepted. Bronze tries to get there. Gives away the ball again. And Mead cuts it out for a corner. But yeah, Jamaica chance now from this corner. We've seen them threaten England from corners before. Can they catch people out? Now they look to make something happen. Joey says, I can write either way. Talking about the top players, I haven't seen the US Best 11 since the Olympic final. That is true. Probably won't see the US Best 11 again until World Cup 27.
Yeah.
With the amount of players they're going to miss this year, and then if there's any injuries or rotation in the pre-tournament friendlies. Coming inside now is Van Zanten, the full-back. Tries to play a pass across there to Simmons. Simmons doing well to take on Russo. Unable though to put a ball into box of any quality. And that'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, good period of play from Jamaica. I think she's slightly frustrated that she wasn't getting a corner, and to be honest, I will be inclined to agree.
Did look like it came off Alessia Russo there, but alas, not given.
Here we go. We'll have a look.
Phillies, welcome to the streams this evening all. Good to see you, Phil. Welcome back, mate. It's been a while. It's been a while since we streamed. It's been a while since I've seen you in a live chat, so nice to see you. Super Renee Slagers, I don't think that's the official account. Not sure.
No.
But welcome to the stream. So when's the last time LJ played 90 minutes?
That's a great question.
Which year are we going for?
Yeah.
Well, she came back and played 45 for England, didn't she? Did she have a 90 minutes for Chelsea before?
She played 45 minutes against Belgium, didn't she? And then she got in, and then she came off at half time injured, and that's the injury. That's the hamstring injury she's been out with since.
Yeah, she'd only just come back for Chelsea. She played 90 minutes across the City games. The WSL match and the Champions League quarter-final second leg. She played 90 minutes in those games.
No wonder she got injured.
23 minutes against West Ham, and then 45 against Belgium. Well, she came back for the Champions League first leg, That's first game back from injury. Oh no, she played City as well. And the FA Cup, okay. Very patchy though.
Yeah. And yeah, that was what, February? No, March internationals, wasn't it? Belgium?
No, that was the April international.
April
She
internationals.
played February and March. She played all of the Chelsea games in Jan and Feb.
So April was the last time. No, yeah, April was the last time she played 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It will be July if she plays 90 minutes at this Euros, which I highly doubt.
But she only played 562 minutes in the WSL this season.
Out of... I can't do the maths.
2,000 odd, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. 90 times 11.
So times 22.
Oh yeah, you don't play 11 games. As you can tell, I was really good at maths.
So yeah, I think it's around 2,000 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
So to play 500 is quite disappointing. She has played 224 minutes in the Nations League though.
Oh, good. That's great. I'm glad. What a good use of her time.
And then only 238 in the Champions League. That's my frustration. She played so many minutes for England. But yeah.
Yeah, I think for England were hit with a tough problem because obviously Kelly wasn't playing. Hemp was out injured.
Yeah.
It was a messy time for England. That.
Joe saying, I'm fine with it. CONCACAF has the weakest confederation tournament. Yeah, it's a shame really, isn't it? That US just walked that. I mean, you've got Jamaica and got Canada that'll give a decent game, but yeah, other than that, US just wait for the World Cup to come around. I'm not counting the She Believes. They make that trophy up and then give themselves the award.
I still have no comprehension of what that trophy is.
Oh, it'd be like me inviting some mates around and playing the garden and giving myself a trophy at the end of it. But they need some sort of competitive thing because there's not enough.
And it's
teams in
She
CONCACAF.
Believes is about the message and.
Do the US women's side play in the Copa America? I'm not sure there is a women's Copa America. I think we've had a look at this before.
Well, yeah.
Because they should play in that.
Yeah.
But then they would probably just win that every year. So
I'd
that's why they don't get invited.
Jamaica have been better side second half.
It's only been 7 minutes. And
Yeah.
neither side's really got going yet.
It's big
but
7 minutes
sure.
for Jamaica.
Williamson lifting one in behind. Russo looking to get on the end of it. Will compete with Swaby for it. Swaby with the sensible option just to knock it out of play. Which says SBC is the same as England's Arnold Clark Cup. Yeah, we don't count that either. So that's fine. At least ours has more history though, because we always played Scotland in that, don't we?
I don't know.
What's
No,
that?
yeah.
Whereas the US just seem to pick a different team. It's
But
always
again-
Japan though.
But again, it's very similar how we just always win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, England just need to get a foot on the ball really. It's been pretty even thus far. But that is poor play out the back from Jamaica.
Here's Russo. Now Mead pokes it towards Lauren Hemp, but that is a wayward effort, unable to find the target.
Yeah, didn't catch that right at all, Lauren Hemp. Beth Mead down here, holding her ankle. She was just caught there in the tackle by a trailing leg, I think it was. As she got to the ball first, dinked it over to Hemp and just got caught in the challenge. But yeah, Hemp not doing well enough with that shot, really. Oh, yeah, just catching up with the knee. Actually.
Mead has had a few issues with that knee, but she is alright to continue, which is a relief. Joey says the US never been invited because they would win it. Yeah. I get it from Commonable. They invite the US men's team because they're not going to win it. They're not going to invite the women's team.
Yeah, they do
will
win
just
that.
win it.
Yeah.
The other nations wouldn't agree to it. But equally, as Joey says, Brazil have won all but one of the Copa America feminine.
Lauren James, sent out to warm up and in the full kit.
36 minutes?
What's going on now?
Oh, she's good.
She needs half an hour though. If she's going to be able to play a part of the Euro, she has to be able to play.
No, but I'd give her 15 minutes here. And then coming off the bench against France, potentially, coming off the bench against Netherlands, looking at potentially starting Wales.
Oh, don't start Wales.
But that's the kind of game where you
Or
can
play
ease her in.
half. Yeah, play half. because again, no offense to Wales, but England should be able, England. To be fair, England might need to win that.
But
game.
I'd wanted to be able to play an hour before we get to the knockouts.
True.
Here is Hemp. Carter, Hemp again. Nice movement there from Walsh. I had to find a pass up the line out of play for an England throw. One says, Coach, I don't mind Hempo into shape. As a City fan, I don't mind. Yeah, well, she's missed a lot of this season. Still, I think, did she register the most assists? She's well up there, wasn't she?
Close,
despite the fact she missed most of the season. Well, she didn't play until the last game of the season, or second last game of the season. She didn't play since October.
Like her and Fowler were right up there in goal contributions. I think they were beaten by Turland and Asayi in the end.
Shaw must have been up there as well, just with goals.
Yeah, sure.
Probably won it.
Yeah, I mean, the fact she won the joint Golden Boot but didn't play half the season is just incredible. But yeah, England just... Again, we knew they'd take their foot off the gas second half at 3-0 up. Just, taking anything slow and steady. Yeah. Cruise control now. Until subs come on, I wouldn't expect to see an increase in the intensity at all.
Ball played forward here for Jamaica. McKenna looking to compete for it. It's a good opportunity for McKenna, someone who presumably doesn't normally start with Khadija Shaw playing up front.
And
big opportunity.
She looked pretty bright. She was the reason that the goal was disallowed. Because she was... No, she wasn't.
No, she scored. It was Van Zanten.
So yeah, to be fair, she actually done well.
Kimmy, or something like that, Van Zanten. My other one was saying, but I've now forgotten what their names are again. Calissa, who I think is nicknamed Kimmy, and then Amelia, who I think is nicknamed Mimi.
Are they all related?
Not all the players in the team, just the ones with the same surnames, I think.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's weird they've got two sets of sisters on the same team.
Yeah.
But I guess, if you come from a footballing background in a country like Jamaica, and you both put the same because they probably trained together and came through together, it makes sense they would both then reach the top level.
If we were both from Malta, there's a good chance
I
we'd
would
be playing.
Well, probably like the fifth best player that Malta's ever seen.
Yeah. Wow. That's a bit of a stretch. San Marino, maybe.
I'd be a good bench player. Carter, again, by the way, mightily impressed how well she's played today. Getting up and down that left-hand side, inverting into the middle of the pitch and causing some problems.
Yeah.
I do think, however, in a quicker game, against quicker attackers, she would struggle.
Chance now, lovely move from England. Save well, 2 for a hat-trick, blocked well.
Lovely football.
Bronze pokes it to Mead, struck well, blocked again by Sampson. 2 now to anticipate on the edge, strike towards goal, falls for Russo, flick to... Who's even got it in there? It's Mead and it's a goal, Stanway and it's a goal.
Here we go.
England 4, Jamaica 0. So many players took shots in there, it had to go eventually, and it's Georgia Stanway that finds the back of the net. England 4, Jamaica 0. Rifled home inside of the penalty area.
Yeah, as you say, Mead had a pop, then Toon had a pop, then Mead had a pop, then Toon had another one. It fell to Stanway, and a lovely finish to find the top right corner. Another really well taken effort by England, but it was worked well, eventually found the back of the net. So the thumping effort really from Georgia Stanway. Lovely football from England, and it is a fourth and a second half that haven't really got going. That's another goal on the score sheet.
And another indication of Stanway playing a slightly more advanced role of this tournament then. Now, whether that's just because of the opposition today, that she finds herself operating almost as a 10 or 8 when England have possession. She's playing a lot in that half space. Now, whether that's just because, as I say, we're playing Jamaica or not, still interesting to see.
Yeah, 100%. And very capable goal scorer. And good to see her back. Scoring an England shirt once again. Got a double against Germany in the friendlies in November.
Yeah.
So definitely can be a threat in that high position.
Ball play forward, that's cut out there, and that is a rogue tackle. I think it's Cardozo in there, the substitute, who will receive a yellow card. Gave away possession, panicked, and just smashed into someone. It is hit Cardozo.
Yeah. Terribly mistimed.
Yeah. Hopefully, Lauren Hemper's taken that one well.
Yeah. wasn't too fair. She'd back out in the end and actually just brought her down with her knee. Initially, she went flying in with her legs, very much focused on taking Lauren Hemp out.
So, yeah, LJ, if she was sent out to warm up 5 minutes ago, surely coming on in the next few.
But it was more like light jogging, I'd say.
Yeah, but if she's in full kit and they're not.
Yeah, that is true.
Serena's not gone. Go and just go for a jog.
Get the legs moving.
But I guess I don't mind 20 minutes. That's going to be more close to half an hour at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mead, Stanway. Moves out to the right hand side. Here's Russo. Stanway hooks it into the box. Just about headed away. Mead, that is cleared by McKenna.
I do have some concerns over England free kick routines.
What set piece routines in general?
Yeah, so that's what I meant. Set piece routine. I don't think the corner's been weird, and that free kick just felt very unorganised.
And changes afoot, and that is Lauren James in an England kit.
Double change
for the first time since she got injured against Belgium. In a football kit for the first time since she got injured against Belgium. And changes coming for Jamaica as well.
Jamaica really using their bench today.
Well, why not?
Yeah, fair enough.
If they could sub everyone on and off, if they want.
Yes.
I don't know if it's roll on, roll off, but you're unlimited subs.
Yes.
So a double change coming for Jamaica then. And that is Kiki Van Zanten, the wide player, coming off.
Makes sense just to keep things fresh.
To be replaced by Thomas. And then a change as well, I think, in the back line. Looking over at the England change now, it's a triple change. Greenwood off for Esme Morgan, and we're going to see half an hour of Lauren James as well as Ella Toone makes way. So that definitely points towards James playing in the 10 role then. And Chloe Kelly coming on as a wide option as well.
Brilliant. Toone comes off there and goes, so you're not going to let me get my hat-trick then? to Weigman.
So it's Lauren Hemp coming off. Chloe Kelly onto the left-hand side. So they're telling changes. One, that Chloe Kelly will be used on both flanks. And two, Lauren James in a central position. The position where England have the most players.
I mean, and the third is that Esme Morgan is the backup centre-half for the tournament.
I don't know if we can tell that explicitly, but
well, no, because
possibly.
She started Portugal.
I mean, I would have expected that anyway over Ruben Moy, and we know that.
Letitia plays basketball.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm just about to say. The idea of Letitia playing centre half is foreign to Serena Weigman. Ball in towards the box, and Bronze there at full stretch and able to make contact with it.
But yeah, so Morgan seems to have got the start against Portugal. She could get half an hour here in place of Greenwood. Seems to have jumped up to England's third choice centre half.
First, those weird set pieces are probably by design. Don't want to show your hand before the Euros. I love the optimism, and I'm gonna agree with you there, Phil. But I will always have fear that.
In that case, we might as well just kick them off. Because then that tells everyone
smash into the crowd.
Yeah,
that's our technique.
Because if you're a really good pressing side, just smash it up and then just press.
A blade on as well at fullback, by the way, for Jamaica. Didn't see who came off though.
But this is where, for England, we should see that intensity increase. Now we've got the changes.
And then Lauren James picks up the ball, and it's a fantastic through ball into Beth Mead. Hooked towards the back post, and that's headed away. Going to fall in there for Kelly, but that's cleared out for a corner by Jamaica. Chen said, I'd love to see Letitia coming up. We're not going to see that till 2029, I reckon. At the earliest. We saw confirmation from, is it Wes Buckingham? The FA CEO?
Don't know.
Des Buckingham? Something like that. We
Des.
saw him confirm yesterday Serena Weigman, regardless of performance at this summer's Euros, has a contract through to World Cup 27. So, yeah, the earliest we're going to see Letitia play centre-back is 2029. Unless Serena has a sudden change of heart. Ball into the box. Header towards goal. That looked like it may have been a block with a hand. Referee waves it away. And England will look to recycle it instead, though, with that Beth Mead pass, leaving a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I think the only appeals there were coming from Georgia Stanway, who did head it goalwards. No, very much off the chest. Off the Jamaican defender.
Got a call for it, though.
Of course.
In an age of VAR.
Oh, yeah.
Only in international friendlies, though. the most important games.
Yes.
But that was never going to be given. Ball. That's over.
Sneak communicate.
Yeah, Russo didn't see what's going to happen there. Here's Bronze. Gives it to Lauren James. James to Bronze. Back to Lauren James. Now Williamson. And it's LJ again. Really just does make everything tick. Lovely ball in towards Russo. And I think it was Kelly almost that met it, actually. That's a brilliant ball from Lauren James. I've forgotten what it's like to watch LJ play football. She just picks up the ball and just knocks a perfectly weighted pass in towards... It's Beth Mead, actually.
Beth Mead in the walls again.
But just floats one into the perfect position. Yeah. Keeper does well to meet it. Yeah, Beth Mead, as you say, has put herself about in this game.
Yeah, this time I think it's just the way she landed on her back as she threw herself at the ball. Just, landed on her back. But she'll be alright to continue.
Just as wait, there's no VAR in this match. No, there is VAR in this match. We don't get VAR in the WSL. We don't get VAR in
we didn't
Champions League group stage games.
Which is changing, which is great.
Yes, of course. But we do get it in international friendlies.
Crazy.
In June. So we've got the priorities right. The problem is a lot of the women's sides still play at smaller stadiums.
That's all right. Just get someone to stand there with a tablet. Oh, another good ball.
Mead to James. Doesn't catch that one at all.
I think LJ's playing rugby. By the looks of that. Lovely, another lovely ball. Mead lays it down nicely into the path of Lauren James, who just ran onto it a bit too much speed, and then rather than get over it, got under it and skied it.
Just as no VAR in the WSL's crazy best league in the world. Yeah. I agree to an extent. Well, I mean, I understand people's... what's the word?
Frustrations.
Yeah, I guess with VAR. Opposition to VAR. That's what I was looking for. But, yeah, I think having it is a net positive. We've seen some really stupid decisions this season and bizarre ones that could easily be avoided if we just look at a screen.
Yeah, I think it's...
Like the Chelsea-Tottenham game where Hannah Hampton makes a save on her goal line and that's given. It just wasn't over the line.
It's different to how it's operated in the men's game. The men's game, it's too, micromanaged. Whereas in the women's game, I think if you bring it in at the basic level, it does exactly what it needs to do. Because because of the standard of officiating, unlike the top tournaments and in men's football, you only see these marginal errors. Whereas in the WSL, we're still getting, as you say, goals being given when they haven't crossed the line, a penalty being given when a foul takes place 2 yards outside the box.
That's Champions League, to be fair. Chelsea, Real Madrid.
That did happen as well. But the Merseyside Derby as well was another one.
They're clear and obvious errors. You immediately eradicate them with VAR. You bring in offside. I don't really care for the offside rules, but if it stops the most obvious decisions... Yeah,
I think cool. Liga F next season, very interesting with their manager's call thing. I think it's next season they bring it in, where I like it. They bring in VAR. If the manager wants to have something reviewed, they can do it. If they keep their review, if they get it right, they lose a review if they get it wrong.
That's how I'd implement it. Similar 100%. To tennis, similar
cricket.
To... I don't like mentioning the Baller League as a serious footballing thing, but I think that the way it works in that league makes sense. The manager can throw something onto the pitch.
I hope they're not going to throw like their NFL flag, like they're an NFL ref. Fourth official.
He goes to the fourth official and says, I'd like to challenge that.
Yeah.
The fourth official informs the ref, it's play stop, and you check that. And you get 3 a match maybe, and then if it's wrong... If it's right, you get to keep it. If it's wrong, it goes. So you stop managers just being able to get to the last 10 minutes of a game and go, I'd like to just appeal that.
Yeah.
And just constantly appealing things to run the clock down. But you would obviously be able to check things.
I think it'd be very interesting to see how it works in the League F next season. And if it works, I would beeline it into all UEFA competitions.
I think the offside rule's stupid anyway. I think it should be you can't be clear ahead of the player rather than you can't be any ahead of the last defender. I think the distinction is just wrong there, because then you just take out the fine errors, the fine ones where it's like he's off by a nose, because you'd be so far offside that you're ahead of the other player. That for me it would be the best way to do offsides. You'd have more goals in football then, which I think is a good thing. Net. Here's Lauren James. Lovely ball towards the back post, and that is a really well-worked goal for England. A bit of magic from Lauren James and a tidy header from Alessia Russo, and that, on James's return, it only took her 10 minutes, and it's England 5, Jamaica now. And surely now we see a change up front.
Yeah, absolute quality. Russo finally gets the goal that she has deserved all game. Has hit the crossbar, has hit the post, finally finds the back of the net with a headed goal. We mentioned how good her heading game has come along this season. That's another goal with her head. And as you say, Lauren James back on a football pitch and back with a goal contribution immediately. Lovely little chops.
It's already the second world-class ball we've seen from her, and she's been on the pitch 8 minutes.
But it's so effortless. And again, don't get me wrong, it is brilliant for James. The question will come is, can she do it in the major international tournaments? Can she do it when the pressure's on? When it matters? I think she's a very different player to what she was 2 years ago, the World Cup 23. But if LJ does that against France, then bye-bye Samuel Batcher. Because that would be 1-0 England. Brilliant from LJ, brilliant from Alessia Russo. 5 is not bad for England at all. But yeah, this feels like now a good opportunity to go get Beaver Jones Rakiman on.
No, definitely. One of them has to come on. Last 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Joey says, I know non-Americans hate American sports stuff, but adopting time stoppage would instantly stop all out-of-time confusion and 90% of time wasted. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Completely different game to something like American football where you've got plays. Football is free flow, isn't it? What's the word? I can't remember. But yeah, there's like a scale of sports, and one is every play is stopped. I can't remember what the official terms are, and every play, and then the whole game is free flowing. So you've got like basketball where it doesn't stop really ever; it just keeps going. And then you've got football, which is not quite in the middle, but it's like it leans towards the free flowing side. There are stoppages, obviously, but not loads. And then you've got things like cricket, where they don't do anything ever; they just stand there and wait for it to be over. So that's the distinctions.
But yeah, I get
and a lot of American sports are on this, so we've got like American football where every play is stopped and it takes 4 hours to do a game.
It's prolonged stuff. I get it. I said the suggestion. I understand the suggestion, but with things like American football, you have prolonged stoppages where it's very easy to calculate. Whereas in football, you'd have moments where you'd have to stop the clock for a second.
You wouldn't be able to have 90-minute matches. What you'd have is 60-minute matches because I mean even then that would be a push. Currently, the ball is in play an average of 40 minutes in the Premier League.
Yeah. I
don't know what the numbers are for the WSL. I don't know if they're similar. I don't know if there is any data on that. But it's between 40 and 50 minutes in the Premier League the ball is in play. So you wouldn't get anywhere near that. You'd end up taking hours if you stop the clock every time.
Yeah.
If you wanted to get 90 minutes of in-play action. I get what you mean. It'd probably bring time wasting down, but you don't. Time wasting isn't kicking the ball out of play anymore. Because then you just concede possession. Yeah. You just take the ball to the corner. It doesn't prevent that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's stop clocks only work. It's like with like tennis and the serve timer. It's only works because there is a prolonged period of time.
And even then, tennis is the kind of sport that can take 7 hours. Yes. I mean, their record match is 14 hours. Chance for Ella Toon. I thought that was in there.
Well, Toon's off the pitch.
Sorry, Georgia Stanway. So it was a Toon-esque.
It was, to be fair. It was that area. Stanway looking for her second.
And that's what we've seen from Georgia Stanway today. Is a much more advanced role for her.
Yes.
Which is more what we'd expect from older Georgia Stanway. We've seen her move further, deeper for England in recent years. But now we're seeing her play a more advanced position. Triple change again for England then. So they're going to use most of the bench tonight. And it's going to be Lucy Bronze coming off. I don't think... Was Letitia there?
No, it's for Charles. And then Carter's going right back.
Okay. Cool.
Which, again, my Letitia is not even coming on at right back anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beaver Jones for Russo.
And then Clinton, presumably for Stanway. Or it could be for Walsh.
Should be for Walsh. Really.
Stanway has only just come back from injury. But there we go. Kira Walsh.
Good.
Coming off.
I tell you what. Smart. Vegans making all the right decisions. I know it's only an international friendly.
Against Jamaica.
I know, but it's important.
I agree. To an extent. I'll wait and see what we do at the Euros.
Oh, yeah. If she brings off Walsh against France, I'm going to have a lot of questions.
That's for 5-0 up. In which case, I won't be able to question things.
I'm just stood on the table.
Yeah.
All everyone can see is my
after that
ankles.
on Saturday,
Yeah.
Harry just stood on the table. Phil says, offsides are overly complex. Just use the feet only and offside if there is a space between them.
But no, again, it gets difficult because you can score with more than your feet. Again, it's not like other sports where you can judge it by one part because you can only hit it with that part.
Imagine if football was like that. It'd be more like futsal.
Like you can only hit it with your feet.
You can only hit it with your feet. So everyone's got to put it on the floor.
Yeah.
You can't. Crossing wouldn't exist.
Well, no, you still volley.
Yeah, true. There've been loads more overhead kicks.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
But no, yeah, it's difficult. I think it's very difficult because that's why the rules are difficult to make because it is such a complex sport.
Yeah. Thanks, Young Cypher, just for the update, saying you haven't drank your water. Thank you for the reminder.
I haven't drank any of it.
I've been too busy talking.
Oh yeah, I've been too busy trying to calm myself down. But yeah, it's certainly going to be, football's a difficult one. Football's a really difficult one. I think, especially because also it differs between each, because like grassroots, I think the grassroots rules are a lot better than the rules at the elite level. They are the same. They are very similar, but the way they're implemented are very different because obviously it's completely different because there aren't millions of cameras and millions of people watching. I think that the problem is that there was never really there was a bit of a trial for VAR, but it was never really implemented properly. After the trial period, it should have gone, this doesn't work, and then get rid of it, and then bring it back, and that's why I've always said don't bring it into the WSL yet, because in the current form, it'd be pointless because it just ruin the game. Yeah,
it won't be implemented until every side is playing at an appropriate ground, which I don't see happening in the next 5 years anyway. So, yeah, I don't think.
Unless Michelle Kang has anything to say about it.
I don't think she's going to build enough stadiums in that time.
She'll do what she wants.
She just builds 10 mega stadiums, sells them to the other WSL clubs.
Yeah.
Possibly. But yeah, the other Swavey sister is down now for the second time this game. We do have a stoppage. Love seeing Wes Morgan there, obviously ex-Leicester City and ex-Jamaica.
Yo McNuff there as well.
Yeah.
A Football League legend. And I'm guessing that is his father to his left-hand side. Could just be a bloke.
Just another elder.
It could be.
Gentleman.
They were getting on, so that means
Probably
nothing.
not his father.
Yeah. 13 to play. England leading by 5-0.
But yeah, Chantal Suave, I think, will be all right to continue. That's where we sorry. Yeah. Young Cypher says, what's your top two to win the Euros? Mine is Spain or France.
Wow.
Mine is England or England. Come on.
Wait till tomorrow.
Oh yeah, 10 a.m. or probably 10 a.m.
Hopefully,
depending on how fast Harry edits it. Predictions. Our Euros predictions out tomorrow. I've done all of our previews. Euros predictions out tomorrow. 170 Gunner says if LJ could stay fit, she'd be the best player in the world. 100%. Yeah, I said for ages now, Lauren James is the best player in the world. A lot of Barcelona fans disagree with me.
No.
But I know, it's not like Barcelona fans to disagree with me. But I think, in terms of her technical ability, and the way she plays the game, the way she carries the ball, the way she strikes the ball, there is so much about her profile that just makes her phenomenal. And I think if we just saw her stay fit and have a consistent season, like stats I think are really difficult to judge, especially when you're comparing someone to the Liga F, because well done, Alexa Putellas has scored so many goals in the Liga F this season, you can't even count them. That's a really good ball and unlucky. Fantastic stop from Brooks. LJ flicks it in there. Beaver Jones hitting it across goal, but Brooks with an excellent save.
Yeah, so great stop. Fantastic stop down to her right-hand side. Beaver Jones does well to take it from behind her and put it goalwards, but that is a really good hand. Outstretched hand by Brooks to tip it around the post. Beaver Jones off the inside of her thigh there, really. Yeah. Looking to add to her England account. Got a hat-trick against Portugal a month or two ago.
Mead puts one into the box towards the back post. Header saved well by Brooks. And then I think it was either cleared or pushed away. I didn't quite see who made contact with that.
Again, it looked like the chest of Beaver Jones.
Swung in there by Stanway. It's headed away. Mead will try and hold on to it, but is forced down in there. Good anticipation there from Kelly, who will give this ball chase. Wins it back and it's cleared away by Cameron. Now Clinton. Stanway. Clinton. Switches the possession to the right-hand side here. Charles. Lauren James, fantastic touch and turn. Rolling the defender. Going towards goal now. Lauren James pokes one to Kelly. Kelly strike on goal, but that's saved comfortably by Brooks.
And again, really good football for England. Lauren James just makes football look so easy. So easy. But heels the ball in. Deep from Mead. Was it the chest of Beaver Jones? No, she did get a head on it, but she headed it down into the ground. Didn't quite get the connection that she wanted. Looking to find the far corner with a diving header. Two good opportunities now for Aggie. Not finding the back of the net of either of them. But again, right positions. Playing well. And England are just... I mean, half the original starting 11's been chopped and changed. But still playing very well.
Yeah. Jay says, I'm sorry, but according to Liga, if Farmers League is an insult to how difficult farming is, 20 goals in Dover is worth 40 in Liga F. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty decent ratio.
Where did I was going for a minute?
What? I don't like the term Farmers Leagues, but the overall quality in Liga F is significantly lower than the overall quality in the WSL. I mean, you've only got to look at the spending of the side that have just come up from the Championship and the level of player that they can attract, and then compare that to the bottom side in Liga F or anyone other than the top two teams, and they can't attract that same level of talent. And I know it's an anomalous situation with the London City, but the fact you've got someone willing to invest that much in the Championship, it's night and day at the moment. I think similar though in France, where you've got PSG who, when they can be bothered, offer half a fight to Lyon. But
another issue, by the way, for a Jamaican player. Had quite a few players go down.
Well, this game's coming at the end of the season again. I understand. Obviously, international tournaments are going to be right near the end of the season over the summer. That's the only thing that makes sense. But having a Nations League period coming into this, and then obviously having these friendlies are important. But yeah, it's a lot of games.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's the fourth or fifth player that's gone down.
Yeah.
Both Swabi sisters have been down. Where the goalkeeper down. I'm not quite sure what's going on. They seem to be being really physical and then hurting themselves.
Yeah, they're trying to match England's physicality, but I don't think they've got the same level of attrition.
No.
So we're seeing a lot of the players struggle, I think, now with fatigue and injury.
Yeah. No.
Young stuff says, I really don't think 12 teams in one league is good enough. At least push it to 16 so it can boost more games. Well, you'll be very delighted to hear about the WSL plans heading into 26-27 then, because WSL does plan for an expansion next season. Next season we'll see only one team, as we currently have in the WSL, relegated, and then we'll see, but that is a playoff, isn't it? Not natural relegation. And then we will see 3 teams come up from the Championship, or at least 2 teams come up from the Championship. So we've all got up to 14. I'd want to go to 16 immediately, but I like the fact that WSL aren't rushing things.
Yeah.
I think if you add 2 or 3 teams from the current Championship, you say that's Newcastle, maybe that's Durham. Birmingham right up there as well, yeah. Then that's interesting. I think if you try and push beyond that, the problem isn't so fact that the Championship sides won't be able to come up, it's that you can't fill the pyramid after that. So who comes up from the National League into the Championship and stuff like that? You'd
get exactly what we got in the League Ref, where the bottom 6 just can't beat. They can't beat anyone.
Yeah, you don't want to rush things too quickly. I think that will come once you need more teams. You need to fill out the pyramid more, and that will happen. But yeah, at the moment, to be a Championship club, you have to be semi-pro. Yeah. And a lot of National League clubs just wouldn't be able to do that if they had to go up. I mean, take like #United, one of the top teams in the National League right now. They couldn't go up, because they can't afford to pay people to be semi-professional. No. They can't afford to have the certain things that you need at your stadium to be able to have that. So, yeah, we're still a long way off, I think, having to keep pushing up. But it will be a progressive thing, and the FA have got to be able to help clubs in that regard, be able to meet those requirements, because I think the requirements they've set, some of them are a bit weird, especially the ones regarding like attendance and stuff. Because if you push them up the league, you'd think the attendance would then go up. So, but yeah.
Oh, what a ball that is.
Charles now on this right-hand side, puts into the box. Charles now for England, and that is 6. Met well by Aggie Beaver-Jones. And England have another really nice play. And that is England 6, Jamaica 0. An emphatic victory on this sunny Sunday afternoon.
Again, really good from Beaver Jones. She's had a couple of chances, but does manage to put that one away. Again, Niamh Charles, spoke about her two-footedness. She has stayed out at right back as a like-for-like change with Lucy Bronze, which we checked quickly, but I think she did. Charles was just about on. Really good ball, puts it in front of Beaver Jones, who gets her foot on it and pokes it into the far corner. And Beaver Jones finally gets her goal.
And Beaver Jones coming off the bench to get involved in the act. Impressive performance from England this evening.
Yeah.
And an impressive way to set up this tournament.
Exactly what it needed from England tonight. Not a scrappy game. Very convincing victory. Loads of different players get on the score sheet. Using the bench nicely.
Yeah.
Perfect evening so far. 5 minutes to go.
Yes, Joey says Premier League and Liga F. Just not really competitive. Phil says German League was great last year. Very true. Hope we see that again.
Yeah.
I mean, Wolfsburg already investing, but they did lose Euler Brand, so how those two balance each other out, we'll see.
Yeah, that is true.
And obviously, you've got Bayern, you've got Frankfurt. Competitive last year. Here is Charles. Stanway tries to put it in there, headed away. Now Morgan.
I like Niamh Charles, but the fact that Weigman opts to put her at right back over Laetitia, I mean, if you're my Laetitia, what are you thinking?
Yeah. Don't get it. I really don't get it. As a player I rate so incredibly highly, I don't know why Weigman doesn't see it the same. Morgan. Clinton. Tries to clip the ball through and can't. Clinton to Kelly. And now England will play out. Stanway. Williamson. Really nice sustained possession periods from England tonight. Really nice positional rotations. And it makes it difficult for players to keep track with who they're marking with the amount of movement in that midfield. My only concern would be, I don't think we're going to play this aggressively against certain sides. I think my only concern with the system would be it's slightly too vulnerable to transitions. We've not really seen Jamaica do that tonight because they don't really have as much threat. But yeah, I think this would be, against stronger oppositions, a bit vulnerable to that transitional threat.
Yeah. But I think, it's been controlling. By the first 5 minutes of the second half, very controlled, very regulated by England. Again, just exactly what he needed. Nothing incredible. No, 110% performance, but a solid victory under the belt and a good way to end Euros preparation, and everyone will be on high hopes as they board that plane to Zurich.
I really do hope these are dummy set piece routines. So that was another corner, which was nowhere near civilization. So lovely ball from Laura James in over the top. Kelly unable to meet it, or Remida unable to meet it, and does make contact there with Cameron. So it will be a Jamaica free kick, but there are some changes coming here for Jamaica. Walker, and not sure who the other player is yet. Right, this feels like a good last game for the tourney, definitely. Definitely rising. England getting in their groove and beating Jamaica in some style.
Yeah. Good stuff. And I think that the fact that we're seeing, 5 different goal scorers, 2 the only one to get the double. Bronze, Beaver Jones, Rousseau, Stanway. Yeah. It's good to see a plethora of players and attacking options chipping in. And again, you look at who's come off the bench. Beaver Jones has scored. Lauren James has got an assist. Charles has got an assist. Shows how vital the squad is going to be as a whole, not just the starting 11.
Simmons and Ingleton, by the way, off for Bailey and Walker. So double change. Both more offensive change, I think, there for Jamaica. Here's Charles. Playing on a particularly rough patch over there. Don't know what Leicester's right back's been doing this season.
Falling over.
Ricardo Pereira's been struggling.
Yeah. To be fair, the women's back four did pretty well this season.
Yeah. Yeah, because the other team tried to play on this.
Yeah.
You can't.
I said the patches came and they went up front, there was no one there. Again, lovely turn
Here is
from Clinton.
Clinton. Finds Beaver Jones, who's trying to fashion a way to goal. Stanway. Here is Lauren James. We've got 5 minutes of additional time at the end of this match then. James driving towards goal now. Lauren James plays it into Beaver Jones in there. Unable to make anything of it. Does continue to fight for the ball though. Beaver Jones. England holding on to possession half the pitch, but now
Mead again.
Mead is down on the deck.
Beth Mead really been in the wars.
Yeah.
Can't catch a break. What this time? Just flicks the ball through on the end. Oh, that's not a nice one either.
No, that is not what you want to say on the eve of an international tournament.
That is not good at all.
She is down,
Yeah.
Beth Mead.
So that's because her foot is planted and then her leg gets knocked into, so then her knee's just gone the other way. That's not a nice one.
And again, it's something that Mead has struggled with.
Yeah. And
I mean, surely she comes off as a precaution either way, but this would be worrying for Beth Mead and for England ahead of this tournament. And a real sour note to end this game on.
Yeah. So I think this, the one problem, is the one thing you want to avoid in these kind of friendlies is the opposition just lumping into you for no reason. You know, 6-0 down. It's a rogue tackle, and I mean, it wasn't. I don't even give it as a free kick. I think, but it's a rogue tackle that was caught Beth Mead. Yeah.
Well, the pitch is trash too. Yeah, definitely.
Well, she's back to her feet. She's walking. I think she'll probably just come off.
It's a bit of a problem when we're playing friendlies at this point in the season. That is the situation of it.
Mead's fine. She's running about.
It's good to see. She'll be alright. Well, she's at least testing it. But she does seem alright to continue. That is encouraging signs for Beth Mead. I would just take her off anyway now, but...
Yeah, even if you just play a 10. I mean, obviously, just bring someone on. But if no one's ready, just...
Weigman lace them up.
Smashed it at top corner. Late addition to the Euro squad.
Here's Mead. Seems fine. Williamson. They're still probing here, England. Stanway. Williamson. Fits into the box. Clinton holds on to it. There's a few deflections in there, but Brooks able to react to them. Right, as my jaw is clenched seeing me down like that. Indeed. Mine would be too, but that would make it very difficult to commentate. Just clenching my jaw.
Yeah.
England now. Going to bring the ball forwards. Unable to hold on to that one though. And that is a poor pass though from Walker and out for an England throw. Overall though, a very successful afternoon here.
Yeah.
In Leicester. England able to put on a very impressive performance. Jamaica had put up a physical fight at times, but ultimately blown out the water in the end by England.
I thought the first half was much better from Jamaica. Second half just falling away a little bit.
And that's had a play from Bailey, I think that was, now out for an England throw.
Yeah, good performance from Jess Carter.
Yeah, really impressive. Probably the biggest surprise of this game.
Yeah. Still think it need Charles preferred by the time we get to Friday.
Oh yeah, I so hope it is. Yeah. Ball poked through, looking for me again. They almost caught in another challenge.
Yeah. Great tackle that from Georgia Stanway. Great tackle.
It's interesting to see Stanway play that deeper role. I think for the Wales game, we definitely could see that. Kelly just leaning back there and hits it over the bar. You could see that from when she geared up to strike it.
On the stretch, just her touch too far ahead of her. Then she had to lean out to go get it. Yeah. Closing stages that I've never understood by people who, when a ball comes flying towards you in a crowd, why do you try and get out of the way of it?
Really positive news, by the way. Aitana Wamati has been discharged from hospital after spending 2 days diagnosed with viral meningitis. That does feel like quite a rush back.
That's very good. That's good though. Promising.
Yeah, I just hope they haven't rushed her back too quickly.
No.
Mead in on goal, and that is 7-heaven for England, and Beth Mead adding to the tally on the 95th minute. A really impressive performance and a really exciting chance. Or exciting game for England before heading to the Euros. And if we do this at the European Championships, so we've got a very exciting month to come. But a very impressive performance and a good way to set ourselves up ahead of the Euros.
Yeah, very nice from England. Another free-flowing move. Beth Mead in space. Good touch in front of her. Gets the shot away. Chantal Swaby can't keep it out. But Mead adds a 7th. Len Goodman will be happy. And England are playing some lovely football here.
A little comment there for all the Strictly Come Dancing fans in the live chat. I'm sure they're enjoying that.
We want
That
eight. No, not going
is the full-time whistle. We'll have to settle for 7. Well, that's a very impressive performance from England in this game, and an impounding victory from England. Very impressive performance. And England's now heading off to Zurich for the Euros. 6 days' time, facing France in that opening game. And a reminder, we'll be live for every single match during this summer's Women's Euros, so join us on this channel. It is the best place to watch the Euros. And I can say that as an opinion. So enjoy that. We'll be back on Wednesday for the opener. Finland versus Iceland. Norway, Switzerland all in one night. England's first game on Saturday. The important one, really, for all the England fans watching today is France on Saturday. We'll be live from 7:45 for that 8 o'clock kickoff. And of course, the other good game in Group D, which is very important for England, is that Netherlands-Wales game kicking off earlier the same day. So, loads to look forward to even this week. Starts on Wednesday. I cannot wait. In the meantime, if you haven't already, there are 16 Euros previews to go and check out on the channel. One for every single team at this summer's tournament. So go over to the channel, check all of those out. The England one was only posted a few days ago, so still very fresh if you want to go and check that out. And we're back tomorrow with our full tournament prediction, so look out for that in the morning. That, though, is everything from us today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.